enabled them to do offense. But as Domi said, if your offense is really good and then you've got your defense set behind it, it enables you to play that guilt-free footy where you can take the game on and do it without being scared.
System in. Exactly right. Yeah, I hope we get a really combative game of footy tonight, and it doesn't just peter out. And like both teams have a lot to play for. Yes, it's round 24. There's no finals in sight for either team, but finish off on a real high and get something from it, whether or not it's to take into next year, but finish the season on a high, but play a brand of footy that's really exciting for both teams. And I've loved what Adelaide have been able to give this year.
I think that they've got a super exciting forward line, don't they? It's just about how they get it in there. Can they be efficient with their disposal, and can they be efficient with their, I suppose, effectiveness when they go inside 50?
Yeah, it's potent forward of the footy.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit erratic behind it, and what it looks like there. Different names, no names really, not big names just yet, but they're finding their way through their footy. But what they do have, particularly at ground level in their front half, yes, they've got the two big boppers in Tex and Fogarty, but their ground level support and their ability to work is extraordinary. So I reckon that'll be the challenge for West Coast tonight. West Coast defenders, back line, when that ball hits there, or if they aim to defend as well as they can, West Coast, they'll find it really difficult to stop this scoring power, what Adelaide can do. So
we saw the, I suppose, importance and impact that Jeremy McGovern has in the West Coast defence. Last week, he was everywhere every time the ball went inside that forward line, cutting it off. Even if he wasn't marking it, he was spoiling it, and we saw a couple of times he got belted. But that's his ability, and his, I suppose, impact on a game is the way that he can make sure that that ball doesn't get used effectively going inside the forward 50 of the opposition.
Again, it's very interesting how they line up, because it's only really Jeremy is the big defender.
Yeah. And he plays free and kind of, marshals the other five around him.
So the other backs, particularly like if Rotham's there and playing a defensive post, it's a big role again. So so Jeremy's got to be really a one out.
So we see probably Jez go up against Tex, but Tex is so mobile and uses the length of the ground really well, whereas we know Jez likes to sit and watch the game come at him. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup in how far he follows Tex up and goes, all right, there's your leash. You're far enough away from goals. I'm going to let you go, and then I'm going to come back and impact it.
Yep. There'll be a fair bit of that, I reckon.
Yeah.
Because Tex does get up the ground, hit logos, doesn't he? And connects them, particularly the centre forward area.
Great field kick.
Yeah, beautiful. And both sides of the body too. So
I think that could be a really dangerous one for West Coast, is Adelaide really utilising Tex, not just up at the signage, but if he gets it outside 60, 70, his ability to mark and then deliver inside 50 to Fogarty, I think that could be a really a dangerous avenue to goal for them.
Yeah. So does Shannon Hearn, but does he potentially get Fogarty, or does Josh Rotham get given the task straight up? I guess in terms of physicality, Shannon Hearn's a lot stronger and more suited to that body size, but he's not quite as mobile as he was 333 games ago.
Yeah, it's probably Shannon, I think, early, and Proudy's probably doing something completely different. They're probably throwing anything at us right now. Just lays Rotham, who's got a bit more speed, to be able to go to a smaller player and a bigger body to play on one of those smalls, and then to shut them down. The supply level will be pretty even, I would have thought, around the contest and around stoppage today, because if West Coast supply get enough forward of the ball, they could do some damage too, Darling and Oscar Allen. So the forwards are going to be, if they get their supply right and they get a look at it.
I think that O'Brien will probably take I think that he'll take the chocolates when it comes to advantage at the hit out, but it'll be a really even contest around there. Where it goes from first hands to clearance is going to be really interesting. Can West Coast, I suppose, West Coast nullify the impact that O'Brien's hand's going to have, and then how do they then challenge them and break away from that, contested footy?
Game 100 for Riley O'Brien today from the Crows, so a big one for him. Came out of the rookie draft, pick 9 back in 2014. It's, of course, a Malcolm Blight medalist in 2020, so done a very, very good job.
Is he studying to be a doctor?
Yes. So he's ATAR, so the TE or ATAR now, 99.75, which is You've got to be right up there with one of the highest in the league. Medical science degree, he has an undergrad in that, and studying a postgrad in business admin and public health. So a big one for Riley O'Brien is you see a star in the middle of the ground, Clint Wilden.
There's an enormous cheer if you're wondering what it was for in the background. Nick Natanui in the centre circles. He's been joined out there by the Adelaide captain in Jordan Dawson. He's got his little fella in his arms, Ezekiel.
Unbelievable, Nick Nat. I remember coaching at Brisbane. Our centre bounce meetings used to take forever, and our centre bounce walkthroughs because where's this going, lads?
How much
you would
sharking?
have absolutely loved roving to him. It was you would be able to walk to the centre circle and go, "Can you put it over there for me?" And he'd go, "Yeah, right." Okay. you'd kind of notice where Oppo were setting up or whatever, and you go, "Can you? They've been doing this. Should we go put it over there?" And you go, "Yeah, right."
Okay.
And it'd be the most difficult spot to get to, and it'd just land there. And that's why you see such damaging clearances from the likes of Luke Shuey and the midfielders who were able to maximise that.
Jordan Dawson and the Crows winning the toss in the middle. Very good job done by Nick Natanui as he was juggling his son Zeke on one arm. Jordan Dawson winning the toss. The Crows kicking to the city end of the ground to get proceedings underway.
What is it like downstairs? It is a raucous atmosphere up here on the 4th level. Bridget Lacey, tell us about the atmosphere.
Yeah, it's a brilliant atmosphere down here. The fans are up and about tonight. You wouldn't know that the West Coast have had the year they've had by the vibes in here tonight. We're expecting a big crowd. It's looking close to a sellout tonight. Perfect conditions for footy as well. It's the weather's doing the right thing. 19 degrees. We've still got a bit of blue sky overhead, but glorious conditions on ground. No real breeze to speak of. If anything, it's favouring that Graham Farmer Freeway end of the ground. The starting benches tonight for West Coast: Gaff, Petreski, Seaton, Petruccelli and Rotham, with the substitute Jermaine Jones. And for Adelaide, Rochelle, Schoenberg, Parnell and Gallant. And the super sub for Adelaide, Riley Thilthorpe.
And Nick Natanui, part of the Eagles huddle. He makes his way off the ground. Which way are you tipping, Shane? Adelaide.
West Coast.
Adelaide for me, and you, Mitch? Adelaide for you as well. Sharrod going with the West Coast Eagles. Adelaide, their record away from home is not great this year. They've won 1 of 9 away from Adelaide. An enormous night for the West Coast Eagles Football Club. Can they do the right thing by their retiring stars? Let's find out. It's the Eagles and the Crows on Grandstand AFL.
Underway at Perth Stadium. Ball goes up in the air, comes down. Bodies diving in the middle of the ground. Crouch had his hands on it for the Crows. Managed to feed it out to Laird. Went the wrong way for a second, then adjusted. Got it over the top to Murphy. Kick inside 50 on goal is away to the right. The Crows... quick bit of ball movement inside forward 50, but it'll be out of bounds for a throw in deep in the Crows forward line. So their first chance to score here, Adelaide. Tex Walker to do the ruck work, opposed to Bailey Williams. Ball tossed in. Williams tried to get a hand over the back. Coming through was Duggan. His kick smothered. Ricocheted back in the air. Knocked into the path of Murphy for the Crows. Running the wrong way. Had together. Gave it to Pedler on the boundary line. Tight, tucked up. Kick on goal was across the face, but it fell into the arms of a teammate in Brodie Smith. He stepped off his line. Called to play on. Had to kick a banana. In the end, it was narrow. So a little bit of chaos early on, but the Crows get the opening score. It's 1 behind, leading the Eagles yet to score. Minute and a half played, opening quarter.
The cheer is for Shannon Hearn with the kicking duties. Sends it towards the commentary wing. Boulay got a hand on it, spills down. With it was Crouch. Crows look to share it around. It comes to Hinge. Kicks towards the right forward pocket. Walk it up against Hearn. Hearn got a hand to it. And then Rankins with it as it goes over the boundary line for a throw-in. 45 out from the Crows attacking goal. There is a game underway down at Cardinia Park. The Cats lead the Bulldogs by 7 midway through the second term. Pink skies as the sun sets here at Perth Stadium. Thrown in again. Walker takes clean possession. Broke away from 2 Eagles. Snaps around the body. It'll bounce through. He's got the first of the 8 he needs. Looking to draw a level in the Coleman medal race. What a start for Tex Walker. They're on the board with their first major in the second minute of the opening term. 1-1-7 the Crows. The Eagles yet to score on Grandstand AFL.
It's just amazing. It's experience, strength,
skill.
Call it. Yeah, absolutely. Just the ability to check him, use his body well. He shake McGovern off too, but just the ability then, that's one of his greatest strengths. Left or right foot. He can do it, and he's probably one of the greatest field kicks in the competition, if not the best, particularly on his non-preferred. Field possession early from centre bounce from that free kick. Gave him the opportunity, that forward 50.
Simply incredible. Tex Walker, we've seen him do it so often as ball goes back up in the middle, coming through Laird for the Crows. Couldn't gather on the first attempt. Eventually got it to Smith. Was able to give it to Crouch. Running across the middle of the ground. Goes wide. Puts it into the path of Saligo. Has a man over the top. Murphy takes the mark. Plays on. 55 from home. Kicks it towards the Tex Walker direction again. Couldn't mark. Had Hearn for company. Pedlar coming through. Couldn't quite get a boot on it through the opening stick. So another minor score. The Crows 1-2-8. The Eagles still yet to score. 3 minutes played.
Hearn into the left back pocket. He finds Marrick, who marks right up against the boundary line. Taken in the mid-season draft, number 1 in this year's mid-season draft, and showing plenty of potential so far. Goes beyond defensive 50. Big pack up at the back. Keane takes the mark. Was in the best position for the Crows. Takes a couple of steps. Kicks inside forward 50. It's on the bounce. Fogarty can't gather. Hunt's there for the Eagles. Hand passes back. Oh, Duggan's in trouble. Was he taken? He was. But then wrapped up a little bit low. Got him around the legs. Good effort by Rankin. Just a little bit low. So the free kick going the Eagles' way. Goes back to Hearn. Kicks across the face of goal to Witherden. And then into the right back pocket. They work their way to Hoff. There's a 50 metre that's been paid here as well. It'll bring the Eagles up to centre half back. The Crows are 1-2-8. The Eagles yet to score 4 minutes into the first.
I still don't get that 9 metre rule.
Confuses many, but Witherden was marched outside 50. Gave it to Kelly. His kick up the middle of the ground was a dangerous one. Hewitt was spoiled. The Crows dive back in over the ball. Umpire comes in. It was Fogarty at the bottom of the pack. Umpire says he'll ball it up. Ball back in the middle of the ground. O'Brien opposed to Williams. Williams tapped it down. O'Brien followed up though. Kick was smothered. Shuey, the captain, in there. Couldn't break the tackle. It was Hoff. Players dive in again. Another ball up in the middle of the ground.
Playing high, the forwards Adelaide at these centre stoppages.
Yeah, Tex is the deepest and he's the only one inside forward 50.
O'Brien knocked this one down. Now Shuey able to get a handball to Hoff. Umpire said it was pushing the back. So it'll come back to the Eagles' retiring captain. You'll hear the crowd make the noise as Luke Shuey has the ball in the middle of the ground. Handballs off to Jeremy McGovern. Kick inside 50 in the Darling direction at the back. O'Brien, game 100, taking a strong mark in defence, is able to switch it across to Hinge.
Hinge has a bit of space in front of him. Now will kick in the direction of the logo on the commentary wing. Good mark, up and grabbing it, McGovern. Good play on the call, tackled by Walker. He had enough on that, the Crows won't care. Rankin will take it away, takes a bounce. Continues to run, hand passes to Walker. He gathers at 51 out from goal. Kicks towards the big sticks, it misses right.
And Murphy.
Odd call there from the umpire. I'm not sure if he called drop.
It was a mark.
It was a mark. Missed call from the umpire then.
It was
mark.
And a chop at the arms.
Absolutely a mark or a free kick.
So ball back into play from the Eagles. Duggan couldn't take the mark. Coming through as McGovern. He's tackled. Hands and knees. Smith tried to feed it back. Dawson for the Crows. Now Crouch gives it to Millerer. Handball to Michael and he run down from behind. Petruccelli got him. Shuey takes the advantage. Takes a bounce. Gets a shepherd from a teammate. On the wing, handballs over the top to Kelly. He's got a man over the top for Allen. The Eagles charging forward. Allen runs to 50, sets his sight for home. This will bring the house down. The Eagles get there first. It's the boot of Oscar Allen, goal number 50 for the season. What a year he's having. As the old say goodbye at West Coast, it's the future showing signs of what they have to offer. 1 straight 6, the Eagles, 1-3-9, the Crows. 7 minutes played here at Perth Stadium.
Just a great bit of individual, take the game on. You know, Luke Shuey, a little bit old these days. Is he retiring today? But he took the game on, ran at the opposition, and a couple of over-the-top handballs. But it was a really, really skillful finish by Oscar Allen then. His ability to have the presence of mind to break 50 and go
50.
through
That was the one.
instead of trying to pass it off. Really good game awareness and self-awareness.
And the restart. Ali Williams wins it down. Straight though to Dawson. Kicks towards centre half forward. Keys couldn't get there. With it and goes back and ran into trouble. Fogarty got him. Ball jarred free. McGovern looked to hand pass it out. It's been locked in again. Umpire will ball it up. Strong tackle coming on Duggan, who's been in the wars early doors. Ali Williams wins it down for the Eagles to Kelly with a clearing kick into the middle of the ground. Not quite where he was hoping it would go. Instead, it's down the throat of Parnell. Plays on by hand. Thumping kick from Worrell. Inside forward 50. There's a big pack up. Tex Walker lurking just on the outside of the pack. Players still go piling in. It's a good tackle. McGovern wrapped up his opponent. Wanted a holding the ball decision. Wasn't going to get one. Climb up off the deck. Last player up there was Gallant. Throwing up into the air. He gets a clearing tap away on the deck. It comes back to Murphy. A hurried kick from the hand pass from Rochelle. Eagles happy enough to just take it over the behind line for a rush behind. Shannon Hearn, reliable as ever, cool and calm, and then the kicking into the left back pocket for West Coast. It's moved through Witherden and he finds Hunt, who marks. 1-4-10 Adelaide, 1 straight 6 the Eagles, 9 gone in the first.
Hunt from the left back pocket, short to McGovern. Eagles now moving outside defensive 50. It's a dangerous kick by McGovern. Michael Annie did well. The Eagles, though, win it back. Cripps knocks it into the path of Kelly. Kicks towards the 50. Going back, Noah Long. Had to be courageous, took the mark. Goes back, Hunt's a target short. Kicks to Darling on the lead. Takes the mark. And he'll go back and have a set shot. Tight angle from about 45 out. Just got away from his man, Borlays. Jack Darling had a chance at his first.
How did the umpire miss the push from Elijah Hewitt? To enable that Noah Long mark.
Game number 277 today for Jack Darling. Moves to third all-time on the Eagles' games record list. The kick off the boot is perfect. The crowd like it. The Eagles like it. They take the lead early. 2 straight 12 West Coast. Adelaide 1-4-10. Early stages, first quarter here, Perth Stadium Grandstand AFL. Bridget Lacey downstairs on the boundary.
Yeah, both Luke Shuey and Shannon Hearn are off right now on the bench, having their first breaks for the game, and Adam Simpson coaching from the bench, like Matthew Nix as well. He's just having a few words for Shannon Hearn there. I'm just wondering whether in your last game you're listening too much to the coach.
I think that the Hewitt call may have been missed because he would have marked that if Long wasn't there. It was a legitimate marking.
Surprise kick by McGovern.
Yeah,
it paid off.
It was there really early,
yep.
And he probably waited half a second too long, and the Adelaide opponent saw it.
And the restart, O'Brien wins it down. Straight to Crouch, goes back by hand to Pedler. Oh, run down by Williams, he's got him. Holding the ball. Playing on by hand quickly to Kelly. Steps inboard, attacking edge of the centre square, kicks towards full forward down the throat of Borlays, who is an absolute monster. Seen him a number of times on television, but when you get to see him live, you realise what an enormous player he is. The 21-year-old. Size of the shoulders, immense. Kicks towards the commentary wing at the back of the pack. Mark's been taken here by O'Brien. As Mitch told you earlier, game 100 for him tonight. Glances inboard for a moment. There's nothing doing across half back, so instead he'll kick in the direction of right half forward. A great kick, and the Eagles are able to intercept. Getting in front, Hoff takes the mark. Brady Hoff is up and he's running and kicking towards left half forward. He wants Allen up against Borlays, and again O'Brien floating back. takes a defensive mark, but then turns it over across half forward. Petreski-Seaton marks for the Eagles.
Petreski-Seaton played on quickly, was pushed off his kick. It's stolen by Schonberg for the Crows. His handball knocked down in the middle of the ground. The Eagles back on it through Witherden, knocks off it again. Crouch wins it back for Adelaide. Had Galance over the top. Now running kicks inside forward 50, looking for Tex. Can't mark. Ball to the back. Soccer off the ground by Rochelle. Is good, is through the middle, and is Adelaide's second. He loves his soccer, Josh Rochelle. Could play a bit when he was younger. And the skills are on full display just then. The Crows retake the lead. 2-4-16, the Eagles. 2 straight 12. Grandstand AFL here from Perth Stadium. Our experts, Premiership high Sharad Wellingham and Brownlow medalist Shane Woden.
Beautiful finish, bottom left-hand corner of the goals. It was a reasonably tough contest there from Tom McCall. I thought he did a really good job up against Tex Walker, sorry. But yeah, beautiful finish, bottom left corner.
West Coast just probably execution at the moment.
Overusing it a little bit.
Themselves down. Their heat's been pretty good, which is finishing off.
That's a good bounce from the umpire. If Rucks go at it, it's Jack Williams who gets it for the Eagles. Throws it on the boot, out after Oscar Allen. Good spoil. Away the other side from the Crows. Spill down to Shuey though, who sends it back from whence it came and through for a goal. Oh, Luke Shuey. His first goal since round 1 of this season. He gets a major in his farewell game. And every Eagle, and I mean every Eagle, comes from all over the ground to celebrate with him. West Coast have got 3. 3 straight 18 to the Crows, 2-4-16. 14 gone in the first. The spoil from Keane was a beauty, but it was straight down the throat of Shuey, who couldn't believe it.
That's the fastest a retired player has moved on the ground, surely. Has a player ever moved that fast in their last game?
No, but he did what a retiring player is going to do, and he fell over after he kicked it. He tripped himself, but a great finish. And his follow-up was from the stoppage, and he's just tracked the ball beautifully straight from the centre bounce. Beautiful finish, left foot.
Quick update, by the way. Geelong, the Cats by 13 points over the Dogs, 22 gone in the second.
Ball back up in the middle. Shuey's onto it again, taken high in a tackle. Wins the free kick. Handballs off to Duggan, a wobbling kick inside forward 50, but it falls perfectly for Darling. He'll have a set shot. He'll have to kick from right on the 50, not too dissimilar an angle to where he's already kicked his first today.
He's one of the best centre square bounce players in the modern game. Luke Shuey has been over his journey. Yeah, he's had a great ruckman to ruck to, but follow up, first possession.
Already has 1 goal today, Jack Darling. Can he make it 2? Will have to kick from just inside the 50. Makes pretty good connection. It goes across the face, off hands and rushed through by the Adelaide defence. So a minus score. The Eagles' first blemish, 3-1-19. The Crows 2-4-16 as Worrell brings the ball back outside defensive 50.
Big kick to the outer wing. Rochelle tries to get there. Witherden gathered it first. Eagles have it through Cole, then Hoff, hand past the gap. They're forced to go backwards here again. Cole to Shuey. They're at right half back now, and this is Robin. He gets a kick away that's marked by Cole. Right up against the boundary line. He'll come down the southern wing. Petrocelli marks a metre in from the boundary on true centre wing. Short, waiting for it was Cripps, punched away by Miller. Spills out to Hoff. Miller wrapped him up, holding the ball. The locals don't like it, but it was there, and the Crows wanted the football more. Miller has it. Between left half back and centre wing, he'll stab it in towards Hinge, who marks inside the centre square. Eagles lead by 3 points, 16 gone in the first. Bit of space for Hinge to run into, and he'll kick it long into the left forward pocket. Walker! Oh my goodness! Came from a long way back, stuck his knee into an Eagles back as well. Dragged in the footy. Big mark to the big Texan.
Just set up perfectly, that, didn't it, for him? It was the right trajectory coming in. The contest had settled. Launched beautifully. Yeah, like you said, Clint, knee right in the back of Jeremy McGovern.
You know all about that, Jeremy McGovern. Here is Walker, 45-degree angle from the left, kicks from 45 metres out. He wheeled away before the ball was anywhere near the goals. He knew it was through. He's got his second. Crows back in front. 17 gone in the first. 3-4-22 Adelaide. 3-1-19 the West Coast Eagles. Tex needed 8 at the start of the night to draw level with Charlie Curnow in the Coleman Medal race. He's got 2 so far.
Yeah, assertive defence by McGovern. He wanted and expected Hunt to come over and support him and help him as that fat side winger rolling it in. Didn't happen. And he got his head set on.
McGovern looked like he was gearing up for the sit, then realised I've gone a little bit too early here, and Tex was stalking right behind him. 2 down. Kick 10 last time they played. Tex Walker has now got 2 already tonight, as O'Brien and Williams will do battle in the middle again. Brilliant tack by O'Brien. Put it in the path of Laird for the Crows. Crouch was able to get it out to Dawson. Now back to Laird, and Smith feeds a handball back to his captain. Dawson weaves in and out of traffic. Low spearing kick. Finds the chest of Gallant. Dawson gets it again. His kick, though, smothered. Knocked down in a good smother by the Eagle there in Petrocelli. Ball bounces back to the Crows again. Dawson constantly finding the ball. Gallant has it at 50. The Crows finally go inside their forward territory, but the handball was wide, wayward and out of bounds for a throw in. Losing track of how many times I could say Dawson in that play. I think he had it 4 or 5 times. As the ball will get tossed in inside Adelaide's forward 50. Left half forward, O'Brien. Big tap straight into the path of Rotham for the Eagles, though. His handball couldn't find a target. Players diving in. Fogarty was in there trying to use his muscle, but the Eagles captain extracts it, kicks it beyond defensive 50. Mark spoiled on the wing by Keane. He's wrapped up by Allen. The umpire will ball it up. The Crows by 3, 19 minutes gone first quarter.
It's the Cats by 15, 26 gone in the second over the Bulldogs down at Cardinia Park. Remember, the Bulldogs have to win to go back into the finals, so the top 8, and put the pressure on the Giants, so they need to win tomorrow. Kicks on the outer side for the Eagles, up towards right half forward. Miller, although, picks it up for the Crows. Gave it to Crouch. Hand passes back to Boulays, to Laird. He's tackled. Good hand pass out to Michael Lanning. Kicks around the body from left half back towards centre wing. Good mark. O'Brien was up. Decided to hand it away to Smith, who can take a bounce on the logo. Hand pass inboard. No! Knocked down by Kelly. Clever for the Eagles. Well done. They move it forward through Hewitt. Now it's with Shuey at right half forward. Too much on the kick. Petreski Seaton wanted it. Michael Annie got in the way. He marks it left half back. The Crows by 3 points, 19 and a bit gone in the first.
He's had a brilliant year, Max. Michael Annie, the father-son selection, as they go deep back into defence to Keane. The Crows, last line of defence, Boulays has the ball. Not a lot of options. The Eagles set up pretty well defensively here. Finally called to play on Boulays. Kicks it long and high to the wing. Fogarty presents big fist from McGovern. Just smashed the ball out of bounds. A good 30 metres in the air. The ball will go out of bounds for a throw in.
Had no release kick. He had Walker on the bench. Had to wait for Fogarty to come from inside 50.
The ruckman standing very, very deep. A shallow throw in as O'Brien gets his hands to the ball. Was able to pick it up. Handball to Crouch. So the Crows moving forward through Dawson. His tumbling kick searching for a Shally was too hot, too high. Goes out of bounds in front of the 2 benches. Broadcast wing just below our eyes here. The Crows 3-4-22. The Eagles 3-1-19. Saturday night action here at Perth Stadium for Grandstand AFL.
Ball to be spun back in between the 2 interchange gates. Boundary umpire unfurls. Front position, Bailey Williams for the Eagles. Wins it down. Rochelle, though, just sharking through and then socket it towards right half forward. It'll bounce over the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in, which was the right decision as he chased it there too. You're never quite sure, though. Little hush descends on Perth Stadium. Crowd of around 52,000 in. It's a farewell 3 of their greats. 2 of them out there for the Eagles in Shuey and in Hearn from the throw-in. It was O'Brien who got to it first. Tapped it out in the direction of Murphy. Well tackled by Shuey. One of the retiring players, the captain of the footy club, wrapped him up across half back.
He's had a good start, hasn't he, Luke?
Yeah, he's looks
sharp.
vibrant.
Go another year.
O'Brien down to Dawson, spilled out towards Hunt for the Eagles, then to Kelly, to Petreski-Seaton, to Duggan from left half back. Kicks towards the commentary wing. The ball's allowed to bounce and then comes over the boundary line. Little touch there from Worrell. It's the curse of Shuey, though, because when he's been fit, he still looks like an absolute superstar, but he just cannot stay on the park. And I say that and I'll just touch the table to hopefully he gets through the rest of this game. Ball thrown in again. O'Brien with a big tap down for the Crows. Crouch looked to get a hand pass away. There's a whistle for a holding decision. Will go the way of the Crows. It'll come back to be taken here by Laird. He's got it just forward of the wing, commentary side of the ground. The Crows lead by 3 points. 23 minutes gone in the first.
Laird's short kick over the top to Rankin was okay. Had Tim Kelly bearing down on him, so plenty of numbers ahead of the ball here as Rankin calls for a lead, kicks it to the pocket. Tex Walker is there, he flies, can't mark. At the back, Hewitt for the Eagles. Weave through traffic, shared it with Gaff, and then Witherden was set up, tackled straight away. Just a brief moment of class and brilliance from Elijah Hewitt, but all for nothing.
He had to kick then, he had shoulders out, release the pressure.
Ball back in the air, Tex Walker just knocks it, looking for a teammate Witherden there for the Eagles. Going nowhere, so we're balling up again. Exact same spot, right forward pocket for the Crows. Walker tapped it down to Crouch. Coming through, trying to get a handball. Gave it straight back to West Coast. Hoff taken to ground by Keys. Umpire gave him a lot of time, but once again, another ball up. The Crows edging ever so closer to goal. As Tex takes it out of the ruck again. He's taken by Hoff. It bounces back to Hoff for the Eagles. Handball. Looking for a teammate, finally lands with Duggan. His kick, a high up and under. Cripps couldn't take the mark. Laird sharks it for the Crows. Kicks it to the top of the square. Ball punched away by Hunt, and the Eagles clear it out to the wing.
Cole, high kick towards the outer wing. Smith is back there first, though, for the Crows. Hand pass to Miller. Running by McElhenney will send it back inside. Forward 50. O'Brien flew at the back for the Eagles. Comes down again to Laird. Try to get a hand pass out once more to Kelly. Spilled over. Mike Lanny back inside, forward 50, stretching Rankin, couldn't mark, spills to ground, locked up the Lance. Rothen got him in the right forward pocket. Rankin was protesting that he was having his arm held. The officials thought nothing of it. It's going to be thrown aloft. Walker looks to tap it down himself. Umpire spots a holding decision that's going Walker's way. He'll be shooting on goal. Tighter than a 45-degree angle to the right. He'll be putting boot to ball from no more than 30 out.
It's a bit sore.
I was going to say, what a hot start from Walker.
Tex Walker has a shot and misses. And he is sore. He's in real strife at the moment.
He looks very sore, doesn't he?
Hobbling. Limping. I'm not sure whether he just got a knock to the leg. It doesn't appear to be a rolled ankle or anything, but it's certainly worse for wear. What happened then?
Right ankle just rolled after being kicked by Liam Duggan.
Aha. Eagles clear beyond defensive 50 towards left half back. Petreski-Seaton gets it, gathers it, gives it to Kelly, hands it off again. Now a chance to go forward. This is Edwards.
Marrick was the target. It was chopped off by the Crows though. Ends up with Murphy. A low kick inside the forward 50. No one there but Hearn for West Coast. Able to give the ball to Rotham. His kick onto the wing in the path of Cole, but it's cut off once again by the Crows and Hinge. And then Smith, had a moment, decided not to give the handball, finally did. Ball bends up, back with Michael Lenny. He retreats to Worrell. The Crows just forced backwards inside their own defensive 50. Short kick by Worrell. Too hot for a teammate in Smith. Had to dive back and knock it to Schonberg. Then Miller through traffic did well. Was able to clear, kick wide and find Parnell. So the Crows moving it forward, not that convincingly, but it ends up the captain Dawson. Normally very good by foot. Looking for Walker. How's he looking, Tex? Couldn't take the mark. Got back onto it. Now he has it again. From right on the paint at right half forward. Snaps towards goal. Didn't have enough on it. It's marked on the line by Hoff for West Coast. He'll be able to set the Eagles up again by finding Cole in the right back pocket.
Walker still hobbling around, but he's moving a little bit freer than he was as the Eagles go beyond defensive 50. Worrell flew, couldn't mark, slipping over. Oh, long, not what he wanted at all. Michael Annie inside forward 50. Keys dropped the mark. It's there for Hunt again to Rotham. Hand pass straight back into traffic. Laird gathers. Hand pass to no one in particular. Murphy will chase it towards the boundary line, getting their first goal. It's over for a boundary throw-in. Left half forward for the Crows, who lead 3-5-23 to 3-1-19. 27 gone in the first. Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio, Sport Digital and streaming on the AFL Extra button on the ABC Listen app.
Ball tossed in, fell the way of Dawson for the Crows. His handball couldn't find a target. Keys tried to burst through, got it to Rochelle. Tex from the pocket, left foot banana. Couldn't work it back. It's across the face, lands on the line. Goes out of bounds for another boundary throw and a good kick for touch, as you'd say in other sports.
He would have had half a dozen shots on goal. Tex already.
He has had a few. So the ankle, for the time being, is holding up okay for Taylor Walker. He'll do the ruck work here against Bailey Williams. Williams was able to push Walker off the ball, tapped it down. Hewitt tried to share it with Duggan for West Coast. Coming through was Cole. Ball knocked out to Cripps. He overran it. The Crows have their hands back on the ball. Laird gives it to Rankin. Steps around one. Then handballs to Schonberg. His handball over the top to Keys. Tied in the pocket. Impossible angle. And the task proved just that. The kick was smothered out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in right against the far right behind post, deep in Adelaide's forward line. They lead by 4 points.
Half-time at the Cattery. It's Geelong by 15 over the Bulldogs. Remember, the Bulldogs need the win to climb back into the top 8. Throwing in. Oh, O'Brien tried something miraculous. Threw the right boot at it. Didn't make clean connection. Spills into the left forward pocket. Rochelle gathered. Hand pass back for the Crows to Murphy. Centering kick is marked by Kelly. Kelly for the Eagles. Flares it out to Duggan, who's in the left back pocket. Will hold it for just a second and then goes short to Hoff. Only just far enough to be a mark. Hoff turns around and retreats with the kick. And he and Duggan decide to just work on their stats for a bit. Duggan marked and then sent it back to Hoff, who's got it again, where we were about 20 seconds ago. Hoff takes on his opponent and steps around him. That was nicely worked by the young Eagle. Schonberg had no idea what was happening. The kick is towards centre wing. Darling's up. Couldn't mark. Has it. Looks to break the tackle for Michael Annie. Got a hand pass out. Was meant for Jack Williams. Instead stolen by Worrell of the Crows. Puts it back inside forward 50. Leaping up into the air, Rochelle. And he takes the mark and he can go back and have a shot from 45 out. He'll put boot to ball in line with the right hand behind post.
Yeah, Jack Williams just couldn't get that ball over the boundary here, just in front of us for a stoppage.
Yeah, and almost waited for the umpire's whistle as well, instead of just putting it into the boundary line.
Already with a goal tonight. Here comes Josh Rochelle. His boots cross the 50-metre arc. Kicks on its way. Looked all right. It sails through. Crows have got their fourth. Rochelle's got his second. 4-5-29 Adelaide. The Eagles are 3-1-19. 30 minutes gone in the opening term on Grandstand AFL from Perth Stadium. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary. Our experts Shane Woden and Sharad Wellingham.
Well, you can understand why he was waiting for the umpire's whistle. Out? Because it was out.
Back in the team, Josh Rochelle, last couple of weeks.
He's a talent, isn't he?
He's a talent.
He's exciting, dangerous.
I think he spent a few in the Sandful, I reckon.
He copped that suspension.
Yeah.
The
punch?
Yeah. It was the jumper punch, it was.
He was just starting to get a little bit...
He had a bad day that day.
Yeah.
Can I make a weird statement? Is this a little bit darker than it normally is at night?
I thought the same thing. As the ball was bounced, I noticed the lights drop and it just threw me for a second. And I was going to say the same thing as Kelly wins the clearance for the Eagles. Kicks it out to the wing. Marek was there, knocked it out to the space, but Rankin gets there for the Crows. Able to go one way, then the other. Kicks up the wing. McGovern beaten by the half volley. Walker for the Crows, knocked it to Schonberg. Brilliant tackle from behind. Petruccelli. There was no prior. but the tackle could have been a goal-saving one as Schomburg had his sights set on goal.
I thought they put another layer of tint on the glass.
It's like it's the actual stands that look a little bit darker.
Ball up at half forward for the Crows. It's cleared by West Coast. Darling ends up with the ball. The competitive first quarter, Adelaide on top, 4-5-29. They lead the Eagles 3-1-19. After a big week, they come to Perth looking to upset the party for the West Coast Eagles. They're certainly on top early as Clint Wheeldon go through the goal kickers so far.
Adelaide, 2 goals to Rochelle, 2 to Walker. West Coast with 3 individual goal kickers, Allen, Shuey and Darling. So Adelaide 4-5-29 to West Coast 3-1-19. Just repeating half-time in the game at Cardinia Park. The Cats lead the Bulldogs there by 15 points, 7-11-53 to the Bulldogs 6-2-38. The Bulldogs must win that game. Otherwise, GWS will be celebrating and they will be in the finals even before they have to worry about taking on Carlton in the final game of round 24 of AFL 2023. We'll be back with plenty more in just a moment with the Crows leading by 10 here at Perth Stadium, wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, Sport Digital and on the AFL Extra button on the ABC Listen app. This is Grandstand AFL.
And here we go in 10.
Step back to a time when the big news was behind the camera.
Please welcome the golden couple of news.
The bicentennial commemorations will
Breaking news from the heart of Melbourne as terror unfolds on a Clifton Hill street.
The critically acclaimed series returns.
The whole country is on the brink of a colossal change, and it is our job to report it.
The Newsreader.
It's going to be huge.
Starts Sunday, September 10 on ABC TV and streaming on ABC iView. Grandstand AFL.
Now streaming every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Thrown in again. Walker takes clean possession. Broke away from 2 Eagles. Snaps around the body. It'll bounce through. He's got the first of the 8 he needs.
Handball to Michael and he run down from behind. Petruccelli got him. Shuey takes the advantage. Takes a bounce. Gets a shepherd from a teammate. On the wing, handballs over the top to Kelly. He's got a man over the top for Allen. The Eagles charging forward. Allen runs to 50, sets his sight for home. This will bring the house down. The Eagles get their first. It's the boot of Oscar Allen, goal number 50 for the season.
Away down the side for the Crows. Spill down to Shuey though, who sends it back from whence it came and through for a goal. Oh, Luke Shuey. His first goal since round 1 of this season. He gets a major in his farewell game. And every Eagle, and I mean every Eagle, comes from all over the ground to celebrate with him. Space for Hinge to run into, and he'll kick it long into the left forward pocket. Walker! Oh my goodness! Came from a long way back, stuck his knee into an Eagle's back as well. Dragged in the footy. Big mark to the big Texan. Here is Walker, 45-degree angle from the left, kicks from 45 metres out. He wheeled away before the ball was anywhere near the goals. He knew it was through. He's got his second. Crows back in front.
The 2023 AFL season.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and now streaming on the ABC Listen app.
Let there be lights at quarter time. Someone's found the right switch, and all of a sudden the lights are back on here. Only took everyone a quarter to get around to it. I did get a couple of texts from our friendly cameraman downstairs, our photographers. Daniel, g'day. Paul, g'day. I was sitting here thinking, I'm mad. This place is dark. What's going on?
It was almost as if there was just one switch on the switchboard that they just forgot to flick.
Yeah.
Honestly, it was like this, and then there was just a moment where it flicked, and I thought, I'm having an off night. I'm struggling to see these numbers.
Bridget Lacey's got some news for us. Bridge?
Yeah, Tex Walker's spent much of this quarter-time break getting that right ankle strapped up, a right ankle and right foot. There was already some strapping on it. There's a heap more now, so hopefully he's good to go for the rest of the game. Clint, I'm actually also really glad you said that because I thought I was getting way blinder than I thought. Does that put my glasses on so I can see? But normally I can see without putting my glasses on, so appreciate you saying that.
No, it was... I was sitting here thinking, you know when you go, I don't want to be the one person in the stadium to have a whinge? Like, I'm finding it hard to see here. Am I just getting old? Well, I am getting old.
No whinging. No, you weren't, because we're all thinking the same thing. Just didn't say it.
Nobody said it, though. Nobody wanted to be the one to say it. What do you make of that first turn, gents?
Oh, it was obviously Adelaide's control, but I feel like West Coast were pretty efficient when they did take it forward. They made the most of their opportunities when they got it in there, but overused the ball. I feel like both sides maybe overused a little bit and invited a bit of pressure. The tackle pressure was there from both sides, but just the sheer weight of numbers. I didn't actually look at the inside 50, 18-7.
Yeah.
So it was. I love it when that matches up to what I see, but it's, spent all that time down there. West Coast did a reasonably good job of kind of keeping the dam wall up, but they were super efficient when they managed to go inside their forward 50.
Yeah, it's a conscious effort, I reckon. Kick to handball ratio right now is 1-1. They've had more actually handballs than kicks, Adelaide, so they're looking to flick it around at the moment. So West Coast pressure has to be up. It's okay, but if they don't anticipate those handball around the congestion and it gets out, well, then it is looking dangerous ahead of the footy for Adelaide too, whether it's Walker or Fogarty. He hasn't touched it, I think, Fogarty, but Walker looks dangerous, and their ground level support, as we said pre-game.
They just look like they're transitioning it a bit cleaner as well. They're finding options, whereas West Coast, it's a little bit, I suppose, more laboured for them to try and get transfer of the footy the whole way down. Yeah.
Adelaide leading all major stat categories. The individuals, Tim Kelly for the Eagles with 12, Duggan 9 for the Crows. Laird with 12, Matt Crouch with 11. But as I say, Adelaide leading on the scoreboard by 10 points and leading pretty much every major statistical category: disposals, contested possessions, inside 50s, clearances, hit-outs, marks. They lead in all categories so far. Can the Eagles bounce back and get themselves back into this game?
The Eagles knew about it. Big reaction downstairs when the lights came on from Adam Simpson as well. Tex Walker's out there. He's in the forward 50 for the Crows. And we're underway. Neither right got a telling tap, but Luke Shuey was there for West Coast. Gathered, kicked inside forward 50. Courageous mark. Hinge.
Wow.
Went up to grab it and then went back and fell back and landed so heavily. The ball jarred away.
Is he okay?
He's gone up and taken the kick. A very short pass, but then he stayed there with his hands on his thighs, leaning over as Miller turns the ball over completely towards right half back. Cripps then to Duggan, and he kicks it towards Allen, who marks. Hinge is still out there at the moment, but that would have hurt. The Eagles towards Kelly. Kelly centres the football towards full forward. They fly from everywhere. There's a holding decision going the Eagles' way. It'll come back here to Darling. And he'll be able to shoot from point blank range.
Did you notice Hinge slip on the mark?
Yeah.
He came out to man the mark on that kick and he almost fell over, so I'm not sure it's his back or his head.
No, it was a push. You're absolutely right. I thought that the umpire was playing a holding decision. Anyway, bottom line is this. Jack Darling kicks the goal from the free kick. Five. Beg your pardon. Just have to regather my thoughts here. West Coast a 4-1-25. Adelaide remain in front. They're 4-5-29. 90 seconds into the second term.
Yeah, Keane's given Jack Darling the biggest push. I thought Tim Kelly had every right to have a crack at that shot. Yeah, how much energy is Tim Kelly playing with tonight? He started this game very well.
It's brilliant last week to Tim Kelly.
Wins their BNF, doesn't he? Does he win the BNF?
You would think Oscar Allen will be up there, but you'd think Tim Kelly is just consistency across pretty much every game this year. He's barely played a bad one, Tim Kelly. Ball back in the middle. O'Brien and Williams go at it again. This time it falls the way of the Eagles. Hewitt tried to burst through, couldn't get it to a teammate. The Crows seal it back. Crouch kicks it looking for Walker. Kick was shallow, but the umpire blows a whistle. And it's going the way of West Coast. It'll go to Shannon Hearn. The Eagles win the free kick inside defensive 50. Hearn plays on, kicks it outside looking for Marek. Plays on quickly to Hoff, running down the wing. He's got Duggan all on his own. Wants to wheel inboard Liam Duggan. Kicks inside the forward 50 now. Pack for me, Keane with a big fist from the back. Pumped it straight to Tim Kelly though. Chose the better option. Kicked it long to the top of the goal square. Miller can't mark. Coming across is Brodie Smith, able to knock it out of bounds. Boundary throw in deep in Eagles attacking territory. They trailed the Crows by 4 points. 3 minutes played. Second quarter here. Perth Stadium, Grandstand AFL.
Boundary umpire throws it back in. O'Brien taps it down. Saligo breaks one tackle, got it to Crouch for the Crows. Laird looks to knock it on, deep in the left back pocket. Clearing kick beyond defensive 50. Fogarty can't mark. Spoiled the ground by the Eagles. Crows will get it again. Here's Laird. Chance to come from Saligo down the commentary wing. McGovern dives out in front of Walker, tapped it inboard. Hinge was able to get there. Hand pass for Dawson to run onto. The ball sat up perfectly for him. Hand passes off to Smith. Runs inside forward 50. That's a shocker. He had two players on. Keys all on his own in the right forward pocket. He's missed the lots.
He was in two minds, wasn't he? I thought Ben Keys was in the pie stands. We didn't really need to kick it to him.
Well, that's sort of halfway between where it went and the goal, and it's just ended up going out of bounds on the full. That's not what he'd be hoping for at all. Witherden will have the kick in. Smith ponders what could have been.
Once they get through that first line defence, Sharad, they're gone, isn't it?
Witherden's short kick to Cole. Cole then goes inboard to Hunt, who has some space to run. Runs his measure and kicks it long to the far wing. Ball off hands, goes out the back. Mike Lenny's spoil went backwards. Hewitt running onto it for West Coast. Pushed off it by the Crows skipper. His handball then going to Miller. Just disposed of Noah Long. The kick into the middle of the ground is poor. He turns it over. Duggan gave it to Hoff. Caught in a tackle. Back to Duggan. His handball misses the target. O'Brien's handball misses the target. The Eagles have it back again. Long surges it inside the forward 50. Cripps spilt it. The Crows through Laird. Tries to work through traffic. Gave it to Crouch, but was caught holding the ball. The Eagles take the advantage. And Duggan finds Jack Williams all on his own over the top. He marks 20 metres out from goal. Slight angle. And after a series of poor turnovers from both sides, Jack Williams will go back and should be able to kick a fairly easy set shot here.
It was a couple of opportunities missed, and then the final one got through, really, wasn't it? It was
so many turnovers.
There's no security in the footy. It's just pop it out and let it play.
4 goals this season for Jack Williams, slowly finding his way at the top level. He gets his first of the night. And the Eagles, more importantly, get their fifth, 5-1-31. The Crows, 4-5-29. The home side retakes the lead. 6 minutes played here at Perth Stadium. Saturday night footy, Grandstand AFL. Our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Shane Woden.
Good start from West Coast. Second quarter, 2 goals. Intensity, I feel like around the ball it's lifted a little bit. More pressure and, just around that contest. Not like it's a mountain of tackles or anything, but they're just able to impact.
Their energy's up.
Yeah.
Can they sustain it now?
Still half-time at Cardinia Park. The Cats by 15 over the Bulldogs. As the Eagles fans find their voice again. Right now, they're off the bottom of the ladder. North Melbourne back in 18th spot as O'Brien wins the tap. Taken, though, by Williams. Bailey Williams gets a hand pass away to Kelly that was roving by. Kelly kicks inside forward 50. There's a fly. They'll turn at the back. Ball lays up against Darling. Darling provided body pressure. Picks up the football. Got it to Allen. Allen snaps. He's going to miss to the left. A minor score. 5-2-32 plays 4-5-29. Eagles in front, 7 gone second term.
Ball brought back into play short to Hinge. Kicks it outside defensive 50 to Saligo. Short up the wing to Rochelle. Saligo signed that long-term extension earlier in the year and then found himself out of the side for a couple of weeks, but he's back in now. Rochelle, long switch across defensive 50. Found Michael Lenny. His kick short outside. Just couldn't quite get it on the full to Borlase. Able to gather and kick up the wing. And a good kick finds last week's almost match winner in Ben Keys. Handball's off to Parnell. The Crows trying to work the ball through hands up the wing. It ends up back with Keys. Now can send the ball inside in forward 50. Fly from the back was good from Galant. Couldn't mark. falls back the way of West Coast. Player caught in a tackle. The umpire's paid a throw. It's going the way of the Crows. It's going the way of Lockie Gallant.
He was unlucky not to take the initial mark, really, wasn't he? He got both hands to it at the contest. It was at Walker. But another nice transition from Adelaide, wasn't it?
Yeah, work rate by Benny Keys. Just to keep going.
Just game number 4 for this season, Lockie Gallant. Trying to find his way into that strong Adelaide forward line. Has a chance here to give the Crows back the lead. The kick is on the way. It was pretty good off the boot, but it faded right. It's a minor score. The Crows moved to 4-6-30. West Coast 5-2-32. 9 minutes played, second quarter here, Perth Stadium, Saturday night footy.
Shannon Hearn with a thumping kick up the middle of the ground. Allen attacks it. Getting right towards it. He's able to take the mark and plays on to Gaff, and now hands it off to Petreski-Seaton. Back to Gaff. He'll flare the ball out to Robin. Mark shy of the logo. Out of sight of the ground. Goes on a bit of a run, then kicks, but he's been dealt with after he got the kick away. Fogarty's the player. Is he just been spoken to? He does hit him high too. So the ball with the downfield free kick will be in the hands here of Hewitt. He's got it in the left forward pocket. He can have a shot for goal if he wants from about 47 metres out.
It's bagels for Fogarty at the moment on his stat sheet. So a bit of frustration maybe. Just find it really hard to get into the game right now.
He hits hard, doesn't he, though?
Oh,
just,
yeah.
100
big
kilos. He's a big guy.
Rising star nomination from a couple of weeks ago. Little glance inboard, but he spins the yellow Sherrin over in his hands. A highly talented youngster, taking a pick 14 in the 22 draft. He gets right underneath the kick. It won't have the carry. They come from everywhere. Spills down. Allen gives it away to Cripps, who snaps. Not even sure if he's been able to sneak that in for a minor score. He hasn't. He's missed the lot. Out to the right-hand side. No change to that score that sees the Eagles lead by 2 points over the Crows. 10 gone in the second turn.
So after the big fall early, Mitch Hinge stayed out on the ground. Looks okay as he kicks outside defensive 50. It's a good kick to Crouch. Handball to Parnell. Kick up the middle looking for Fogarty. Can he have his first disposal? He can now, the big guy. Turns, plays on, sends it inside attacking 50. Going back, this Murphy has to compete with a West Coast defender. Couldn't beat the man, and the umpire will come in and ball it up as he wraps up Luke Edwards at the bottom of that pack. So Fogarty got himself on the stat sheet with a mark and kick there. Ball tossed up inside Crows attacking 50. Walker punched it towards the boundary. Rotham got back there first for West Coast. Taken the ground in a tackle. The umpire was circling. It was right on the boundary line. It'll be a ball up.
Bulldogs have kicked the first 3 goals of the second half. They now lead the Cats by 3 points at Cardinia Park. The throw in, the right forward pocket for the Crows. It comes to Kelly. Couldn't quite take it. Fogarty tries to burst his way through. Was wrapped up. Surely that's holding the ball. Umpire says no. It took a long time to get rid of it. Eventually it tumbled over the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in. 35 out from the Crows attacking goal. They're heading to the Farmer Freeway end in this, the second turn. Walker against Jack Williams. Both have a fingertip touch. Spilled out the sign. Umpire spotted a free kick. It's a holding decision that's going the way of Ben Keys. He'll have it in the right forward pocket for the Crows.
You can't comment on these ones until you see the replays. They're picking ones out from...
They do well to spot them.
Yeah.
Had a similar kick from similar spot last week, didn't he?
He did.
He kicked it.
Not in the record books. No. Ben Keys does snap around the body. No controversy this time. It's short and narrow and punched through.
Probably too far out for a snap.
Minor score.
No controversy there, but a questionable decision. Rotham had 2 hands. He could have marked that one. I know he's on the last line, but you'd love to see a defender just mark that.
The kick out wasn't a great one. Hunt spilt it. Saligo was able to gather for the Crows, run towards goal and drill it through. A mistake from West Coast. And Jake Saligo pounces for Adelaide. He gets his first. They retake the lead. 5-7-37 Adelaide. West Coast 5-2-32. 13 minutes played, second quarter. Mitch Turner here with you on ABC Grandstand AFL. Clint Wilden alongside me, our special experts today. Shane Woden and Sharad Wellingham.
Gov just trying to bite off a little bit too much, I think, on that kick in.
And some nice sideways move there from Saligo, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's talented, this one.
Yeah. So he's
signed off 2029.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he was out of the side a couple of weeks later.
Is this his second or third year? Third year?
Yeah, Jake Saligo. Just this game number 37 for Jake Saligo.
And casual 28 disposals last week against Sydney as the umpire spots a free kick that's going the way of the Crows in the middle of the ground. Taken here by Gallants. He sent it long and straight right up the middle. Fogarty went up. Did he get a little nudge? He did. The Eagles fans won't like it, but it looked like it was there. Here's an opportunity for his first goal. He thought about playing on to Walker. Don't tell me they're not looking for the big fella when that happens.
They're looking.
Thought for a moment Walker led out from full forward from the goal square, and he was just about to drop the Sherrin on his right orange boots, and then thought, no, I have to go back and kick this. Darcy Fogarty.
Yeah, they need to be a few more in front before they start doing this.
Correct. Boots cross the 50, in line with the right-hand goal posts. Maybe he should have passed it off because he's missed to the right-hand side. So Fogarty now with, 3 disposals, 1 behind. They lead by 6 points, the Crows, and we've travelled 15 into the second term.
Witherden plays on out of fullback for West Coast. Big kick to the wing. Allen set himself, but Michael Annie did well to cut it off. Saligo's kick inside the forward 50. Falls the way of Walker. Called to play on, ball off hands. The snap around the body, sprayed out of bounds. And Joshua Shelley giving Tex Walker a nice spray too. The young man.
Was it touched?
I think it was touched.
I think it was touched play on, yeah.
To Walker's hand, so he had to play on and snap around the body, but the resulting kick was out of bounds on the full. So it's back with Witherden, and once again he goes wide to the wing looking for a target. Off hands, out the back. Running onto it was Jack Williams. Couldn't beat the boundary line. Ball in. Right on centre wing, far side of the ground. He looks sore, Tex Walker, still. As we see a replay of him having that shot. You always grimace when you miss kick it. That's the old favourite as the ball's tossed back in. Williams got there first for the Eagles. They just knocked the ball forward into space. Rankin able to gather for Adelaide. Hinge goes back deep in defence, and Crows have the ball with Parnell. Switching the ball across the face of goal. It ends up in the hands of Keane.
Keane. Oh, that's a dangerous kick, and it's been shot off by Cole. He was trying to go short to Michael Annie. Cole read it well, leapt up, took the mark. He's gone at 49 from goal. 45-degree angle to the right.
It was smart defending. He was in a defensive position, obviously, Tommy Cole, but his opponent ran really wide and just dropped off him at a perfect time. Allowed the Adelaide defender to think that there was an option there and then just really intelligently cut it off.
One of the Eagles' remaining premiership players from 2018, Tom Cole. From 49 metres out, we're right behind the kick. It started to swing left, but it straightened and went through. Punches the air with the right hands. And that's his first goal of the season. And just the 4th of a career that's now 90 games old. He gives West Coast a chance to draw a level with the Crows. They're 6-2-38. The Crows are 5-8-38, and we've gone 17 minutes into the second term. Update at Cardinia Park. The Bulldogs lead by 4 points over the Cats. That's 11 minutes into the third.
You say he's kicked, that's his 4th career goal. His other 3, Clint, came in back-to-back games in 2020 during the COVID year. He kicked a goal in 3 straight weeks. Hadn't kicked one since. In game 54 was the last time he kicked a goal.
He also looked like he hadn't kicked one by his celebration.
Exactly.
And the arm went up, but it didn't quite have that forward vigour, did it?
So what do I do now?
Ball back up in the middle. Kelly onto it for the Eagles first. Wheel turns and goes into the forward 50. Allen pushed out of it by Keane. Umpire sees it, pays it. The whistle was always coming. Keane thought he got away with it, but the push at first glance seems to be there. We wait to see the replay, but Oscar Allen will go back and shoot for goal number 2. They have to kick from 50 metres out, almost directly in front.
Did a really good job of recognising when that contact was going to come, but making it look like it was maybe a little bit more than it was.
Correct.
It's a skill in its own, but well done by Oscar Allen.
It was definitely a nudge from Keane, but was it a push? Well, that's the question. The umpire says it was. That's all that matters as Allen on the runway strikes the ball beautifully. He's got 2. The Eagles hit back again, 2 in a row to West Coast. And they're feeling it tonight here at Perth Stadium on what is a big occasion for the club. 7-2-44 West Coast, 5-8-38 Adelaide, 19 minutes played, second quarter.
You wonder what they look at. They look at the defender or the forward and his movement going forward.
There was a replay of Adam Simpson downstairs on the bench, and his reaction suggested, he might have got a lucky one then.
You take them when you get them.
Absolutely. When you get them.
Yep, he flushed that.
He's such a reliable kick.
Yeah, beautiful kick of the footy.
The best young key forwards in the competition coming around. Just all great kicks to the ball. Amos, Larkey, Allen, they're all just very good finishers, aren't they? Fogarty normally.
The restart. The ruck got anywhere near it. Brian really went to ground more than anything else. Ball picked up by Crouch. He's been tackled here and been held in. Shuey underneath him. Ball up. Just on the Adelaide edge of the centre circles. It's thrown up into the air. O'Brien with a more telling tap. Came out the side though. Long's out after it. Hacked out of trouble by the Crows. Inside forward 50. And then McGovern in front position. Gathered it. Was tackled straight away.
Did well to protect him then too.
Wrapped up by Gallant. He did. O'Brien palms it down into space for the Crows and then goes forward, sockers it forward, straight into the chest of Hoff, who did really well actually to gather it, and then a kick towards centre wing commentary side. Darling meets it, sees Long going by. He couldn't gather, Podreski-Seaton could, and then a lovely hand pass. This is Duggan. Duggan on the run. Hand passes now towards Kelly. He runs the 50 out, looks for an option, finds one, leading up Allen. Oscar Allen can go back and shoot from just inside 50. He'll start in line with the right hand behind post.
Bit of a strange entry inside 50, that one, because, you know, Kelly's running down the forward flank and most of the time you'd see the forward lead into the pocket, but Oscar Allen's leading angle made Tom Kelly stop, adjust and kick it into the corridor. So different way of getting there, but hopefully the same result for West Coast.
Oscar Allen looking for his third from right on 50. Doesn't deviate. He has 3.
What's that for the year?
52 for the year for Oscar Allen. 50 on the scoreboard for West Coast. 8-2-50 to the Crows. 5-8-38. 21 and a half gone in the second term on Grandstand AFL. An update at Cardinia Park. The Bulldogs by 5 points now over the Cats. 15 gone in the third.
If he doesn't have a bounce either, Tim Kelly knocks that over. Yeah. Breaking 50. It's a different Tim Kelly this year too. Like, he just looks like he's covering the ground better. He looks fitter. He looks leaner. Hasn't always had a big year. I reckon last year just wasn't fit enough. This year, be able to cover the ground and had the energy and pop like he has been. Energy around the contest. Sharp.
Slim Tim, I heard him referred as in the pre-season as the ball's back underway in the middle. Dawson to the Crows, tapped it to Laird. Now to Crouch, gathering plenty of the football as the Crows surge it forward. Ends up with the captain, Dawson. Tries to break and tackle it half forward. Couldn't. Was stopped dead by Cole. The Eagles win the free kick. Kick it to the wing with the advantage. Kelly infringed upon. And he'll win the free kick right on the wing, right in front of us here in the broadcast position. As the numbers just flood back in front of Tim Kelly. The Eagles lead by 12 points. Kelly's kick towards half forward, looking for a target in Williams. Ball punched away well by Worrell. out of bounds for a throw-in. 23 minutes played, a 12-point lead to West Coast. 8-2-50, plays 5-8-38. A 1-point lead to the Cats at Cardinia Park over the Dogs.
17 gone there in the third. Thrown in. Haley Williams got front position, won it down straight to Shuey, set upon immediately. 2 Crows got him, wrapped him up, took him to ground, ball up. Thrown up into the air again. O'Brien with a more telling tap, down to Long, tried to kick through traffic, ricocheted off Smith's chest. Smith will turn after it bounced up into the air. He'll spin around. That's a lovely pass to Walker, who marched us forward to the logo. Walker sends it deep into the middle of the ground. Running and marking. This is Rochelle. He can take a bounce. Rochelle's still going. He's going to get run down. Oh, Gaff just absolutely tracked him and got him and showed pace we haven't seen for some time from Andrew Gaff. And the Eagles played on quickly and they move it out to Marrick, who marks it left half back. Rochelle, it all was there for him. Gaff went, no, not tonight.
Thought he undernarred a little bit, Gaff, and then Rochelle allowed him.
Head down.
Andrew Gaff moving with paces. The crowd roars again for Shannon Hearn, who kicks it to the wing and finds his skipper and Luke Shuey. Shuey goes inside to Hunt, continues his run, gets it back. The West Coast captain, and kicks a long switching ball to the far side of the ground. Hoff has Cole over the top. Already a goal kicker tonight. Kicks inside forward 50. The pass was a bullet to Bailey Williams. He likes his chances from outside 50.
It was a nice transition. We don't see that kind of ball movement from West Coast too often, but I think full ground switch in one side, out the other.
Having a really good year. Bailey Williams played every week for West Coast. Has been a reliable performer. This, a big kick from outside 50. He strikes it well. The goal umpire moved to his right. And it's a minor score. 8-3-51 West Coast. 5-8-38 Adelaide. 25 minutes played. Second quarter here at Perth Stadium. Round 24 action of the AFL.
Scores level again at the Cattery. 19 gone in the third. Eagles, rather the Crows, bring the ball towards centre wing. Commentary side. That's a good mark to Dawson in the pack. He bounces up quickly. Has a bit of a run. Kicks towards left half forward. Good spoil come from Rotham. So able to punch it down in front of Rochelle. Got a hand pass out to Hunt. Got dealt with after he got the kick away. You'll see the kick downfield, or free kick paid downfield. Kelly will take it. Bounces it in front of Duggan, who gathers, arches the back, and then spirals it inside forward 50. One down there by Borlays. Michael Annie tries to work it away. Crows through Hinge, then to Crouch. A chance to move beyond defensive 50. That's Parnell. Will go short. It's at left half back. Pedler. It's off a step. Finds Keys. Almost stepped into Cole. He's surrounded by Eagles. Great work. Got a hand pass out. Hinge kicks towards inside forward 50 rather, and then Hoff in the right position, or Laird rather, takes the mark for the Eagles. He'll go short towards right half back, and West Coast can build again. The ball in the hands now of Rotham.
Rotham has the ball, wants to kick a dangerous one inside the middle of the ground. Wasn't good, went over the back of Marrick, coming through Hinge for Adelaide. In there was Worrell, got it to Rankin. Now Tex Walker on the left again from the paint of 50. Pulled it to the right-hand side. Couldn't find his third major tonight. It's a minor score. 8-3-51 West Coast, 5-9-39 Adelaide as Hoff takes a sliding mark at right half back for West Coast.
He moves it on to Edwards, who marks. Is it right half back? And Edwards' kick was not great. He's almost got fingertips to it. Might work out okay for the Eagles. Bounce in the direction of McGovern. Was able to hand it off to Petrocelli. Back by hand to Edwards. Hand passes across half back. Duggan put his body in the way. Tried to tap it to his own advantage. Was able to work it out to the side. Petrocelli spun. Got out of danger. Gave it to McGovern. They've worked this well to Hoff and then to Kelly. And he marks it right half back. 8-3-51 plays 5-9-39. Eagles over the Crows. 27 minutes gone in the second term. Bulldogs back in front at the Cattery. They're up by 6 points over Geelong. 21 gone in the third.
Disposal number 20 for Tim Kelly as he kicks up towards the pack. It comes off hands, falls to Borlase. Umpire will ball it up. 20 disposals for Tim Kelly. Still a couple minutes left in this first half as the ball up, goes up, down, hits the ground, and Smith comes through for the Crows. Runs through traffic, kicks over the top towards half forward, looking for Rankin. For the cheers of the West Coast fans. Goes out of bounds on the full. Be a free kick to West Coast and Jeremy McGovern just outside at right half back. So 28 and a half minutes played, second quarter. West Coast lead by 12. It's a poor kick from McGovern. The Crows turn it over. Keys goes inside 50. Was looking for a target in Gallant. Couldn't mark. Ball falls to the ground. This is where the Crows are dangerous though. Murphy's handball to Keys. Ramped up by McGovern. The Eagles have it back and are able to repel outside 50 to Duggan, who finds Kelly. He goes inboard to Petreski-Seaton.
Oh, he drops the mark. It spills there for the Crows. Came out the side to Schonberg. Is taken high though, Petreski-Seaton. A little bit lucky to get the free kick at right half back.
It's like Kelly and Duggan just kicking to each other up this entire wing.
Petreski-Seaton kicks towards right half forward. Coming from a long way back. He read that beautifully, did Keane. Takes up plenty of space on the ground, gets the mark and sends it in towards the centre circles. Just on the defensive edge of that for the Crows, here's Keys. Goes back to the defensive point to Keane, who marks at left half back, and then out towards Smith, just shy of the logo commentary wing. Low, flat pass towards the skipper in Dawson. Jordan Dawson runs down the boundary line, puts it into the left forward pocket. Big fly comes, umpire spots a holding decision. It's going the way of the Crows. Pack of about 6 up. It's going to be O'Brien who'll take it. Riley O'Brien, a noted goal kicker. 4 goals, 3 for the season. 12 in what is tonight his 100th game of his career.
Edwards, a bit of a fistful of his jumper there, I think it may have been. Undersized, obviously.
Getting plenty of advice from the crowd that sits behind where Bridget Lacey is on the boundary. Here is O'Brien. 45-degree angle to the left. He's kicking from right on 50. He's missing. Through for a minor score. Adelaide 5-10-40 as the siren sounds for half-time, and the Eagles lead by 11 points. 8-3, 51 to 5-10-40. Just, well, it has to be said here, just the third time that the Eagles have won a second term in season 2023. One of the many records that they hold as the worst in the AFL, but they've hit the front, West Coast, in what's a massive night for the club. If you've just joined us, West Coast saying farewell to 2 on-ground players, Luke Shuey, their captain, and their premiership captain in Shannon Hearn, and Nick Natanui also announcing his retirement. The Eagles with big celebration pre and post game, but can they give their supporters what they desperately want, which is 4 points? At the moment, they're back off the foot of the ladder. North Melbourne's win earlier today put them there. The Kangaroos by 35 points over Gold Coast. Other results earlier today: Freo by 37 over the Hawks, and the Brisbane Lions by 12 over St Kilda. Half-time here, and it's West Coast 8-3-51, leading Adelaide 5-10-40. 25 minutes gone in the third term at Cardinia Park. It's the Cats back in front there by 2 points. 9-13-67 to the Western Bulldogs, 10-5-65. That game means a lot for the Bulldogs, as it does for the Giants. The Bulldogs must win to climb back inside the top 8, as the lights have gone off here again at Perth Stadium. I think this time deliberately, it must be said. If the Cats beat the Bulldogs, the Giants, even before they've played their final game of the season, will know that they're in the top 8. Let's get the thoughts of our experts with West Coast in front as we see some of the highlights of the 3 retiring champions of the Eagles on the big screen. Our champions themselves, Brownlow medalist Shane Woewodin, premiership player Shade Wellingham. Gents.
West Coast really, really good in that quarter for mine. I think that, like you said, Mitch, control that they had of especially this wing, their ability to get the ball inside 50 and be really efficient when they did get it in there. Inside 50s really, really probably balanced out in that quarter.
Yeah, 14 apiece. Oh, geez,
I'm on tonight.
Go on.
It just felt like they were able to transition the ball really well through that second quarter.
Yeah.
And the whole contest around the ball, clearance work and contested footy, that still feels relatively even for me. But West Coast were able to have a bit of dominance in transferring the footy. Yeah,
it's a good eye, Jared. Very good eye, because statistically, pretty even arm wrestle second term. Again, just West Coast more effective, 5-2 to 1-5, going inside 450 and efficiency on goal. So that's the ball game right there. A little bit more effective when they do go forward. Heats up with both teams. Contest is pretty much even. There's still a few turnovers from both sides by hand and by foot, but right now, again, more effective. And I look at it too. Kelly and Duggan, 21 and 18 each, but they're kickers. They're 15 and 12 kicks respectively in their 21 and 18, whereas you go Crouch and Laird, they're 14 and 12 handballs. They only kicked it 5 times. So
their metres gained.
Metres gained is like mid-60s.
Yeah.
You got 530 with Tim Kelly. So that's your impact as a midfield group right there. Although to get it, and you're fantastic to be able to distribute, but can you be effective and be more effective? And Tim Kelly at the moment, he's standout best on ground right now.
Yeah.
He's dominating this game. So,
far and away.
Yeah. Probably him and Duggan got him back in there. I think Hoffy's done a great job on Rankin. He's had a match-up, it looks like, for a little bit, and he's done a great job. He's just
the thing is with those Adelaide forwards, they can impact really quickly, or they can be missing for the world. But when that happens, when they aren't going really well, they can pop up and kick 2 goals in a quarter really quickly and be really dangerous. So it's important that they keep that lockdown, keep the screws on them really tight, because it's working really well for them. Not having many avenues to goal, are they?
That's right. No, not at the moment. No, it's really only Tex who's really looks dangerous. Rochelle's kicked a couple, but Tex could have had 7 or 8. Right now he's had that many shots on goal. But for me, if West Coast's defence part of their game is on tonight, which it looks like it has been for majority.
Yeah, owning space really well, aren't they?
Yeah, they can win this game of footy, no doubt. Where they do look vulnerable is if Adelaide transition from back half and get it out the back, where they get...
Because they are playing quite high as well.
Playing quite high there forward. So it does look a little bit dangerous for West Coast when they do go inside 50. Whether it's a Rochelle or a Rankin running back onto it, because their tools do hit up at centre forward and then roll and get it in deep. That's the only way it looks like at the moment that West Coast can get beat
exposed
from the scoreboard.
Really nice touch, that few minutes of highlights packages for Shannon Hearn, Luke Shuey and Nick Nat.
They've done a great
job. Amazing footy.
They've done a great job, the Eagles media team, in what has been an absolutely miserable year for them.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, how do you try and get your fans up with some of the efforts they've had this year? But there is a terrific story on the website, which I really would recommend you have a look at, with Shannon Hearn going back and the family, back on the farm in South Australia, speaks to the sister, speaks to mum and dad, speaks to his junior footy coach, all the great things that he's done and how he'll come back. And I think, if I'm incorrect on this, please, I apologise, but I think it's the under-13s as their best players, named after the Shannon Hearn medal and the Shannon Hearn Cup, all this sort of stuff, which just goes to prove there's all these photos of him going back to get a photograph alongside the youngsters coming through. It's just terrific stuff when you get to pay tribute to some of the greats of the footy club. And I know Adelaide have done that as a big club in a 2-team town. They've done that as well. But yeah, it's a big night for West Coast, and right at this point in time, they're doing the right thing by their retiring greats. Well, and the elephant in the room, they're doing the right thing by their coach as well. If there hasn't been a decision made.
Are they doing the right thing by the club?
Yeah, it's the question that can't be answered in any way other than hindsight.
Yeah. It's impossible.
It's impossible to answer. So,
well, they could, even if they were to get the pick one, that doesn't immediately mean it's the right pick.
No, so I'm always of the opinion that you can't, and I know I've had this discussion on air quite heatedly with people. I don't think West Coast have been tanking this year. I just don't think they've been any good. And I refuse to believe you come back from a position where you're 30 points down, get in front, and then deliberately lose it. That was just ridiculous.
The only
against
advantage they
Essendon.
have with it is that they can split it.
That's right.
Only advantage.
So there is an advantage in that respect, but I think the damage that it does to your football club, we've seen again and again the karma bus get you if you try not to win games of football.
Yeah. No, it's not in players.
It's DNA.
Yeah, they can't do it.
And look, if you got the number one pick and you could split it and you could still end up with Daniel Curtin, that's a great result. If you finish second last on the ladder and you get Daniel Curtin, that's still a great result.
Yeah.
So either way, I think having a win here and having a win like they did last week, well, I guess franking last week's win by showing it wasn't a one-off, is far better for this football club moving into 2024 than worrying about whether you get the number
exactly
one.
right. Yeah. You can't control that stuff.
No.
So,
and even then, we've seen, you've mentioned it, I know you've mentioned it too, Sharad, the number one pick isn't always the player. You look back in 12 years' time and go, well, he's the person you'd pick first if you could redo it. As good as Harley Reid is, and we all think he's going to be a good player, I just think this is a better thing for a football club.
Has there been as hyped prospective number one pick in the last decade?
I'm going right back. I remember how highly hyped both Natanui and Watts were. Jack Watts was hyped immensely.
Yeah, okay.
Which recency bias says no, but I remember the hype around him at the time because it was always he was going
that
one.
Watts Natanui?
Yeah, but Melbourne had always said Watts was going one.
Yeah.
Always. But I agree with you. I don't think it was anywhere near this level of Harley Reid. That's as close as it's come, and I'm not sure that's the case.
he's dominated underage footy.
Yeah.
Not to say he'll dominate the next level.
Yeah. Or even he might still dominate and still not be the best player in 15 years' time.
And I don't think the Kangaroos can lose out anyway. Like, if they get the Mackay compensation as well, they'll either get 1 or 2 or 2 or 3, how it's reading right now. They're going to get 2 guns into there.
I mentioned before the other elephant in the room, the Adam Simpson situation. I reckon 2 weeks ago, and I said this on Sports Talk, that he had 2 weeks to save his job as such. They win against the Western Bulldogs and put in a great effort. Whether they go on and win this, I think it'd be very hard for West Coast to move on the coach if that's the case.
I think that it makes their messaging and time frame a lot easier. I don't know if it changes if they've got a plan in place now. I don't think that will change their plan.
Do you think they have a plan?
I think they do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just hasn't been released.
Yeah.
Like, Eddie's been pretty vocal on Footy Classified, hasn't he?
Has he?
Yeah, he has been very, very vocal.
Yeah. I wouldn't. I would be more surprised if they don't have a plan.
It's just waiting to announce it.
Yeah.
I was firmly of the opinion 3 weeks ago from talking to people that he was absolutely safe, and then it was after the Derby, he was in enormous trouble, and I think he thought Adam Simpson, he was gone as well, and then after last week, it all seems to have swung again. Yeah. You're allowed to change your opinion as more evidence presents itself. Yeah. That's the other thing as well. Hard to move on a coach if they finish this way. We'll wait and see. In the meantime, let's pause. The Eagles 8-3-51 to the Crows 5-10-40 and take the latest from the ABC newsroom.
ABC News with David Rowlands. The Victorian Liberal Party has claimed victory in the by-election for the seat of Warrandyte. Voters headed to the polls in the safe Liberal seat to choose a replacement for outgoing MP Ryan Smith. ABC elections analyst Anthony Green called the seat for Liberal candidate Nicole Werner early in the count. Labor did not run a candidate in the by-election. A 9-year-old girl is expected to make a full recovery after she was injured during a crash in Sydney South that killed 2 young boys. As Amy Greenbank reports, the driver will face court tomorrow.
Her father is believed to be the driver. 2 other children in the car, the man's nephews, died. All 4 were travelling in a Subaru WRX when it cut across to the wrong side of the road and hit a tree. The impact so intense, the car's engine was flung from the wreckage. Horrific reminders of the night before still visible the next morning as locals lay flowers for the 9 and 10-year-old boys who didn't survive. Police are investigating whether the 33-year-old lost control while street racing. He's been charged with dangerous driving and is expected to front court via video link.
The Victorian Government has announced it will extend its sick and carers pay scheme to more casual and contract workers. Yvette Gray has the details.
The Victorian Sick Pay Guarantee pilot will now continue to March 2025, with more than 400 new jobs now eligible for the payments. Eligible casual, contract and self-employed workers can access up to 38 hours of sick and carers pay a year under the $245 million scheme. Fitness instructors, hairdressers, factory workers, early childhood workers, taxi and rideshare drivers are among the jobs potentially covered. Since launching in March last year, more than 76,000 workers have signed up to the scheme, which has covered more than 1.8 million hours of sick and carers pay.
However, the Victorian Chamber of Commerce and Industry Chief Executive Paul Guerra says the scheme unfairly benefits casual workers as they already have their sick and care leave factored into their higher take-home pay. The WA Nationals will not be supporting a voice to Parliament as a party when it goes to a referendum vote later this year, in line with Federal Party's position. The decision was made at the party's annual state conference today following lengthy debate. Leader Shane Love says the vote was not unanimous, but reflected the party's many varying views and its culture of diversity. He says the state government's handling of the recently repealed cultural heritage laws had damaged trust in Labor's ability to deliver outcomes for Indigenous people.
Whether or not Labor's referendum proposal and the trust in Labor to be able to deliver any meaningful change through it was the question, and it was determined that we did not support that. We do not trust the Labor government to be able to deliver on the voice. Bee and honey industry figures will meet next week after the discovery of a varroa mite at several locations on the New South Wales-Victoria border that sparked fears of a nationwide infestation. Lucas Forbes has more from Wagga Wagga.
10 kilometres within any infested premises, all beehives are euthanised. That's what's happened in Euston and Uroli and now near Griffith and in other places around the state. The New South Wales government will be observing hives within 25 kilometres. No hives can move in, out or within any of those zones. The New South Wales government and the industry have been pursuing a policy of eradication, trying to completely eradicate the pest. However, we know that many industry figures are going to be meeting this Wednesday to discuss whether or not that's really feasible anymore, and whether Australia, like many other countries around the world, might now have to move towards management instead of eradication.
Some health experts say there's still a lot of unknowns about the new COVID variant, BA2.86. So the best thing to do is to stay up to date with vaccinations. It was first detected last month and has been reported in a number of countries, including the United States, Denmark, South Africa, the UK and Israel. Infectious disease physician Dr. Sanjaya Sannayaka says eligible people should consider getting a booster shot to provide the best protection against severe illness.
If you haven't had a booster this year, you should get one, and ideally with one of the bivalent vaccines. So it's got more than one strain of COVID in it. And you should do it if it's been more than 6 months since you've either had COVID or had your last dose of vaccine.
And a massive fire at an oil refinery in the US state of Louisiana is under investigation. The blaze northwest of New Orleans sent pillars of thick black smoke into the sky.
There's a bigger picture to be found, a wider viewpoint. There's more than one side to every story, and you'll find so much more with ABC News Online. Around the world and from wherever you are, get a bigger picture of the stories that matter to you, with explainers, live blogs and analysis. Your news, your way, every day. From Australia's most trusted news source. Download the ABC News app or head to ABC News Online. Grandstand AFL.
Now streaming every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Drew Laird tries to work through traffic. Gave it to Crouch, but was caught holding the ball. The Eagles take the advantage, and Duggan finds Jack Williams all on his own over the top. 4 goals this season for Jack Williams, slowly finding his way at the top level. He gets his first of the night. Kick out wasn't a great one. Hunt spilt it. Saligo was able to gather for the Crows, run towards goal and drill it through. A mistake from West Coast. Jake Saligo pounces for Adelaide. He gets his first.
Keane. Oh, that's a dangerous kick, and it's been shot off by Cole. He was trying to go short to Michael Annie. Cole read it well, leapt up, took the mark. He's gone at 49 from goal. From 49 metres out, we're right behind the kick. It started to swing left, but it straightened and went through. Punches the air with the right hands. And that's his first goal of the season. Duggan on the run. Hand passes now towards Kelly. He runs the 50 out, looks for an option, finds one leading up Allen. From right on 50, doesn't deviate. He has 3. Running and marking. This is Rochelle. He can take a bounce. Rochelle still going. He's going to get run down. Oh, Gav just absolutely tracked him and got him and showed pace we haven't seen for some time from Andrew Gav.
The 2023 AFL season.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and now streaming on the ABC Listen app.
Andrew Gaff turning back the clock as the 31-year-old ran down the 20-year-old. What about that? Rochelle just took a little bit too long. Andrew Gaff got him. Second half, not too far away from getting underway. 8:3:51, the Eagles. 5:10:40, Adelaide. An update for you again from Cardinia Park. The Cats are back in front, which means the Bulldogs, their chances of playing finals, well, I won't say slipping away just yet. It's still early stages of the fourth, but Geelong in front by 2 points. And the Bulldogs simply have to win. 10-13-73 to 11-5-71. What are the other numbers here at Perth Stadium? Tell us, Mitch Turner.
The team stats, the disposals 188 to 174 in favour of Adelaide. They lead the contested possession count by 3. The Eagles leading the marks 48 to 45. The inside 50 count favouring Adelaide still 31 to 21. The clearance count and the hitouts also favouring the Crows. The clearance count, the Crows 22, the Eagles 15. The tackle count, the Crows in front now, being slightly behind the first quarter break, 28 to 25. Individually, Tim Kelly having a massive night for the Eagles, 21 disposals, 519 metres gained, 7 inside 50s. Liam Duggan with 18, Brady Hoff with 16 for the Crows. Matthew Crouch leads all comers on their side, 16 disposals. Rory Laird with 15. Jordan Dawson, the skipper, with 14 touches. Interesting though, the Crows, 2 leading disposal getters. Crouch, 16 touches, 62 metres gained. Rory Laird, 15 touches, 54 metres gained. I suppose the Eagles doing the damage.
There's a half of footy left in the AFL careers of Shannon Hearn and Luke Shuey, their current captain. And the Eagles lead by 11 points. Second half about to start. Here's Mitch Turner on Grandstand AFL.
Riley O'Brien, game 100 to resume battles with Bailey Williams. Ball tapped down the way of the Eagles. Hewitt gets a kick inside, forward 50. Tumbling ball towards Allen. Keane did well, but then he overran it. Cripps has it for West Coast. Kicks towards the goal square. There's a wrestle on. Body on body. Williams knocks it into the path of Darling. He comes through. Sockers it off the ground and gets his third. Jack Darling in game 277. Third all time for West Coast tonight. He has 3 goals. The Eagles with a fast start to the second half. Their lead out to 17 points. 9-3-57. The Crows 5-10-40. That's 4 goals in a row for West Coast. Sharrod Wellingham, Shane Woewodin.
Well, it wasn't clean football, but they just kept the ball moving, didn't they? And I really like the dynamic and angle play that Elijah Hewitt came through the centre bounce at.
I just love the confidence of the coaching group to be able to play this kid in there. He's not a big mid yet, but he's dynamic, he's powerful. And the more time he spends there, the better he's going to get.
And the restart, both rucks had a tap. Controlling umpire spotted a free kick going the way of West Coast. And Kelly takes it by hand onto Shuey. Kicks inside forward 50, wanted Darling. Couldn't quite take the mark at the back. Allen got a hand pass away to Marek. Hand passed it off again to Long. Looks to snap around the body. He's missed everything. Out of bounds on the full. Oh, that's what you're pointing at. Bulldogs by 11 as there's a massive cheer for Adam Simpson. was completely lost, Mitch, what you were pointing out there. Bulldogs up by 11.7
I had a look at the score over your shoulder and I thought, is that real?
It's amazing. They've stormed back. 84 plays 73, 7 minutes gone in the last.
They're back in front and back in the 8, the Dogs, as two sides here who their season will be done tonight, but still plenty of pride to play for as Tim Kelly wins the free kick for West Coast. Kicks inside the forward 50. Worrell did well. Punched it away for the Crows. Hinge had to handball dangerously across his own goal to Saligo. His handball to the captain, set him a task. Dawson turns over to Cripps. 5 goals last week. Hasn't kicked one tonight. Kick to the top of the square. Keane able to gather for Adelaide. Gave it to Hinge. Grubbering ball through defensive 50. Laird made it look good. Kicks it out to the wing and found the chest of Fogarty. Not a lot on up the ground, so has to stop and go wide to Saligo. Saligo on the wing, kicks short. Back to Rory Laird, disposal number 16. Gave it to Hinge. Now he pulls the trigger. Goes inside forward 50. McGovern couldn't take the mark at the back. Fogarty soccers it off the ground, but it's wayward off to the left, out of bounds. Boundary throw in.
Could we see Tex try and take this out of the ruck contest and quickly put it on the boot?
He's done it before. May well do it again. It is Walker. Ali Williams front position, palmed it down. Walker tried to get there, hacked out of trouble by the Eagles. Petruccelli spilled though, out in the direction of Rochelli, who has a shot at goal and misses the lots. Or Saligo rather. It's out to the right-hand side, snuck in for a minor score. So it's going to be Shannon Hearn who'll take the kicking duties. 9-3-57, the cheer is for Hearn, who goes on a bit of a run in the right back pocket. 5-11-41, the Crows. 4 gone in the third.
O'Brien couldn't take the mark on the wing for the Crows. Falls to Kelly, just racking up possessions. His kick to Hewitt. He got an awkward bounce. Borlase did well for Adelaide. Gave it to Saligo. Was able to arch the back, break a tackle, and find a teammate who kicks it towards half forward. Hearn with a big fist from behind, but he punches it into a dangerous area. Well, coming through hard was Marrick. The Crows did well though. Won the ball, kick into the pocket, finding the chest of Lockie Murphy, who squares it up to Schonberg. He'll go back and have a set shot 40 metres out, slight angle to the left.
He was unlucky in the outer wing on that occasion with Elijah Hewitt. Just couldn't quite just handle the footy.
So Harry Schonberg, a massive goal kicker, just game number 11 for the season, has kicked 2 goals, kick on the way, goal umpire shimmies to his right. That's the direction the ball went, minor score, so the Crows unable to answer back. 5-12-42 Adelaide, 9-3-57 West Coast, third quarter.
Oh, Eagles went up the corridor. Worrell got fist to it, won it back over. Crows seat come to Keys, snaps around the body. Every goal umpire takes a breath, but it's bounced through. And that is a goal. Don't send that upstairs. No need. 6-12-48 the Crows, 9-3-57 the West Coast Eagles. 5 gone in the third term here on Grandstand AFL.
It was just poor execution by Witherden with that kick in. Really wasn't there. Hang too high. Enable the defence to come in and spoil it. Front half turnover. Goal. When Shannon Hearn kicks it in tonight, it's hitting targets. When he's not,
or it's going really long.
When it's McGovern, when it's Witherden or Rotham, whoever else kicking in, it's turning over.
So Adelaide able to answer 4 straight from West Coast across the second and third quarter. Back in the middle, Bailey Williams flew high, but it was O'Brien who got his hand to it for the Crows. Gave it to Crouch, shared it with Schonberg, and now Millerer kicks out to the wing. Was able to find Michael Lenny. Got a man over the top in O'Brien, gathers, gives it to Schonberg, looping handball inside forward 50. Rochelli stopped and propped, gave it to Rankin, broke a tackle, handball to Fogarty, censoring ball all the way back. He's looking for Dawson, can he mark? No. Couldn't take it on the second attempt. The Eagles win it back. A clearing kick smothered. Falls back to the Crows. Michael Lenny gives it to Miller, target inside forward 50, Walker. Takes the mark. 45 out, slight angle to the left. Will have to kick from outside 50 for goal number 3.
He was in a rush again then, wasn't he? He wanted to play on. Well in range.
Normally very, very good from this range. Taylor Walker. Still time to chase down Charlie Curnow, but he's got to get going. The kick is on the way. It's short, it's right, flying from the side. McGovern knocks it through for a minor score. So the Crows 6-13-49, West Coast 9-3-57. The ball in the hands of the retiring veteran Shannon Hearn. West Coast with an 8-point lead.
Goes on a storming run and then kicks towards right half back, out of sight of the ground. Makes its way towards Darling, trying to get a hand pass away, only as far as Soligo for the Crows, and then he puts it out of bounds on the full. Free kick to West Coast at right half back. Bulldogs lead now 12 points, 12 gone in the final term against the Cats at Cardinia Park as the Eagles put it back inside their defensive 50. Hearn, McGovern, now to Rotham in the left back pocket. Rotham steps off his line, so he gets told he has to play on. This is a dangerous looking kick. Worrell was there against Long, and Long started well to win that down for the Eagles. To Witherden, they work it around. Involved also Gaff and Hewitt up into the air with a kick towards the logo. Commentary wing, O'Brien tried to shovel it backwards. Putting his head over it was Miller. Couldn't get it. The Eagles can try to emerge with it. Cripps had it knocked out of his hands. Petreski-Seaton picked it up. Fired a hand pass back to Gaff. Looked to work a hand pass forward to Witherden. Might have been taken high. Umpire says no. Play on. Still there to be won in front of the interchange gates. Players pile on top of the football. Keys tries to go in to win it. Umpire says eventually I'll ball it up. Here on the commentary wing, the Eagles are 9-3-57. The Crows inaccurate 6-13-49. 9 gone in the third.
Scrappy game at times, but the intensity is up as O'Brien fell over in the ruck. Ball fell the way of Smith for the Crows. Kicks towards a Fogarty contest with Rotham. Coming through was Rankin. Handballed it to a teammate, but Gwenton got it himself. Runs to 45, lowers the eyes on goal. And once again, the Crows are wayward as they kick, searching for another major. 6-14-50. Inaccurate 20 scoring shots for the Crows, but 6-14-50. They trail West Coast 9-3-57 as McGovern kicks it in and finds a target in Shannon Hearn.
A massive cheer every time he touches the football tonight. And 333, the most of any Eagle ever. Kick beyond defensive 50. Ali Williams couldn't mark. Spills down to Shuey. Always a cheer for him too this evening. Gets a kick away in the direction of Darling. Couldn't mark against Borlays. Down to Cripps. A little backheel. Didn't mean it. Worked perfectly though. Remarkable to Gaff. Sends it inside forward 50. Allen will chase Miller. Miller got there first. The hand pass to Soligo set him a task. Spun away from Allen. Magnificently done. And then he spots up Laird, marking in the right back pocket. Eagles by 7. 10 gone third term. Grandstand AFL at Perth Stadium. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner in commentary.
Laird kicks high to the wing. O'Brien trying to get there. Williams spills it for West Coast. Then O'Brien ribs it from the pack. Gives it to Keys. Pedler has it for Adelaide. Kicks up towards half forward. West Coast have a 2-on-1. Rotham went back. Had a fresh airy. Ball bobbles inside forward 50. Rankin's lurking. Knocks it to his advantage. We know he's special, but this one, again, rolled through the wrong side. Another minor score. Rankin punches the ground. The Crows 6-15-51 trail by 6. West Coast 9-3-57.
Petreski-Seaton has it, still in his defensive 50, out to Marek, who marks between right half back and centre wing. He's on the southern side of the ground. He'll kick towards right half forward. Wanted Darling, got in front of Borlays and takes the mark. Kick. Needed to be precise, and it was. Darling trots back. Wants someone to run towards him. Nothing immediately presents, so he'll kick to a pack in the right forward pocket. 2-on-2 battle. Offhand, spills down to Laird. Chance to sweep forward through Miller. Now to Worrell, running by Laird again. Or hand pass straight to Darling. Snaffled it back, and then he almost turned it over. Worrell was able to knock it to ground. The Crows had it. Getting away with it is Soligo. Moves it short to Pedler. Hand pass inboard to Crouch. Back to Pedler on the logo. Southern wing. Kick towards left half forward. Fogarty couldn't take it. Elects to punch it inside forward 50. Keys out after it. Can't get there first. McGovern mops up. Hand pass was a tough one though for Hunt. Did well to get it a second time. Picked it up off the ground. Sent it towards the outer wing. Punching it there was Miller up. Went up. Knocked it down. Eagles thought there should have been a free kick against him for going high. Up against Darling. Instead, the Crows work it towards left half forward. This is Gollins.
Gollins got the ball, kicks it towards a target. Open man in the pocket. The Eagles can't get back. Offhand, spills to Walker. And now Tex has his third. That was the easiest of the lot. It fell in his lap at the top of the goal square, able to dribble it through. Adelaide get one back. They level the scores. Finally finding a major. 7-15-57 the Crows. 9-3-57 the Eagles. 12.5 played third quarter, Perth Stadium.
Just struggling with their last entry inside 50, West Coast. This quarter, it's held up, or even when they're going fast, they just haven't been able to reset at the moment. Whereas Adelaide, when they do go forward, they look dangerous.
Yeah.
They've got...
Could also see it was ping-ponging a little bit there for a few minutes, and you could see Crouch, even when there was a mark taken, just telling his teammates to slow down. I think that the lack of efficiency is just making it go back and forth a little bit.
Bounce to restart. Gallant wins it down. He'll take it himself and then fires the Crows towards full forward. Fogarty couldn't mark. Here's Walker again. Gathers, snaps and goals. He's got 4. Big Tex draws level with Larkey on 71. He's still got his eye on Charlie Curnow's 75. Larkey is in the clubhouse, mind you. Curnow will get a crack tomorrow when Carlton take on GWS. But Tex is doing all he can. And it's the Crows who now lead 8-15-63 to the Eagles 9-3-57. 14 gone in the third.
4-3, maybe 3 other shots that I know of in that first half.
Out on the full as well.
Yeah.
So there's...
He's missed 3 right and missed everything once.
Yeah. So another 4 shots. So he's had 11 shots on goal tonight already.
Not bad. Not a bad night out. There's still a quarter and a bit to go.
With a very good defender on you as well.
He's having some sort of game. Taylor Walker. It's not bad for a guy who's played 260 games of AFL football. The ball in the middle comes down to Duggan for West Coast. Gave it to Shuey. High up and under. Darling there and Allen as well. Couldn't mark. Well, Ace did well. Darling coming through, crashed the pack. Now it's with Petruccelli. Edwards gives it to Petrevski-Seaton. Handball off to Cripps. Shot on goal. Is good. Jamie Cripps answers back. There'll be a score review. The umpires want to check.
Hit the post.
Let's wait and hear what...
That scoreline looks pretty similar too, doesn't it?
I was watching Cripps. His reaction.
Can't hear what the umpires said. We didn't get the audio here at the ground. 5 goals last week for Jamie Cripps.
Looks like there's a reasonably big gap there on the bottom left.
It looks eerily similar from that bottom left angle we're looking at to the Ben Keys one last week. Yeah. So you heard from Sharrod Wellingham, a gap between the ball and the post. The goal will stand. Jamie Cripps gets his first. The Eagles answer back after the Crows kick 3 straight.
But that
scores level again.
Is almost the perfect review in that there was the slightest of questions. Send it upstairs. What did that take? 12 seconds?
If that?
30 max, but that's fine.
But that didn't even take 30 max. That was quicker than that. So any doubt at all, erase that, have a look, all clear.
Yep, and the right decision was made.
Yeah. That doesn't hit the post.
Sure, the Crows feel great about the decision after last week's drama. That's okay. Scores level as we head downstairs to Bridget Lacey quickly.
Looks like West Coast are making their sub. Jermaine Jones in for Luke Edwards, the unlucky guy at the back of the bench.
Thank you, Bridget.
Held my breath when Bridget said Luke then.
Oh, yes, of course.
Yes.
Dewey. Been there a few times. The restart, there's a free kick coming the way of the West Coast Eagles here. Come back to Williams, held out of the ruck contest. So Bailey Williams is the other ruck. Jack Williams. Bailey Williams, it's a long kick inside forward 50. Flying Michael Annie. Couldn't mark it. Tried to go a second time. Hits the deck. It was Jack Williams in there trying to take it away. It was locked in. Michael Annie underneath it, climbing up off the Crows player as Darling throws it back to the umpire. Between centre half forward and full forward. He throws the ball aloft. Williams palms it down for the Eagles. In the Bailey direction. Into a pack. Ball up again. Scores a level. 10-3 plays 8-15. 63 points apiece. 17 gone in the third. O'Brien palms it down for the Crows. Straight though towards Kelly. Got it back to Petricelli, who has a shot and misses, but it's enough to give the Eagles the lead. They're up by 1. 64 plays 63. 17 and a half gone in the third. An update at Cardinia Park. The Bulldogs lead is now past 3 goals. They're up by 19. 22 gone in the final term.
Hughes brings the ball back into play. Miller had to go and gather outside defensive 50. Gave the handball off to a teammate in Rochelle. Shares it 1-2 with Crouch. Runs back inside defensive 50 and finds Borlase. So Borlase has the ball. 35 metres out from his own goal. Now plays on the kick towards Dawson. Is good. Finds his captain on the wing. Takes the mark opposed to Hewitt. The Crows just happy to slow it down a touch. Dawson retreats. Switches across the far side of the ground to Keane. Runs, takes a bounce, kicks wide to Millerer. Plays on. Takes space, kicks inside the forward 50. McGovern diving across, caught friendly fire. Couldn't take the mark. Murphy takes it for the Crows. Oh! Williams! Flies high, Bailey Williams. Takes a big mark in defensive 50. Gave the handball the kick out of bounds. But what a big fly from the Eagles ruckman. Got up beautifully.
Just set up perfectly, didn't it, for him? Nice high ball and...
I'm not spoiling this.
No.
That's a ripper.
Beautiful mark. Bailey J.
Aggressive wig too tonight.
Throw it in through the fingertips of O'Brien. Trying to get a hand pass out was Laird for the Crows. It's on the deck. It came to Dawson. Pressure came Proteski Seaton. Spilled out to Hearn. Eagles have it now through Shuey, then to Kelly. Well tackled. Just got a hand pass out. Cripps knocked it in the direction of Hewitt. To Proteski Seaton. Stolen by Laird. Crows have it again. It's now with Crouch at right half forward. Step back inboard. Had 3 options. And elects to hit Keys on the chest. There were 3 Crows in a line. Keys was just like in front of them. And then he'll pop it into the right forward pocket. Guess who? Walker.
That's not looking for him. He's in a far worse spot.
There's no doubt they're looking for Tex here.
He misses this.
Now I said that.
Does Matty Nicks get pretty frustrated at that?
One way to find out.
Walker
He's got
snaps around the body.
Brings it around perfectly.
Just ignore the question asked before, because when Walker can do that, he's got 5. No wonder you look for him at every opportunity. The Crows back in front, 9-15-69 to the Eagles, 10-4-64. That's, what do we got now for the big Texan? 5. He needs 3 more to draw level with Charlie Curnow in the race for the Coleman medal.
And then another 2 or 3
and then
for
probably
a buffer.
a couple for a buffer. But nonetheless,
It would be a remarkable win.
he's keeping himself in that mix. Bridget Lacey's downstairs for us. Bridge.
Riley Thilthorpe into the game, and Matthew Nicks mentioned pre-game they had a plan for him as the sub. Riley O'Brien looks like the man who's coming out for Riley Thilthorpe. So there you go, that might have been their plan all along.
Interesting. Subbed out in game number 100, Riley O'Brien. So Thilthorpe onto the ground and straight into the ruck. Williams, though, for West Coast. Won it down to Kelly. Thilthorpe trying to gain possession in there. Was Parnell. The Eagles steal it. Kelly clears the ball inside forward 50. Coming out, Jack Williams. Can't take the mark. Hinge there for the Crows. Knocks it back to Keane. Couldn't take clean possession. Darling, Allen diving on top. Ball up inside West Coast forward 50.
He'll mark that in a couple of years, Williams. Has to separate with a bit more aggressive.
Just the 11 career games for Jack Williams. Ball tapped into space. Petreski-Seaton tried to get there for the West Coast. Saligo went without it. Allen took him to ground, then dived back in, gave it to Duggan for West Coast. Hewitt coming through, can't take possession. On hands and knees, Murphy for the Crows. Handballs to Thilthorpe, turns it straight over the big man. The snap ricocheting inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Williams comes out to meet it. Handball ends up with Marrick. Now Jermaine Jones, the sub, onto the ground, snaps. He's celebrating. There was a last-ditch effort on the goal line to touch it from the Crows defender. That's a goal. It looked close. The umpires will check it again. We go to the score review. So Mark Keane, the man, well over. Got a fist to it, but it was a couple feet over the line already. So Jermaine Jones comes straight onto the ground and makes immediate impact with a goal. And West Coast, once this is confirmed in just a moment, there it is. West Coast goal. They get their 11th. 11-4-70. They lead the Crows now 9-15-69. Another lead change. 23 played, third quarter. Bridget Lacey downstairs.
Yeah, just confirmation from both clubs that Luke Edwards and Riley O'Brien both out of the game just with tactical subs.
You guys might have the stats, but I wonder when the last time West Coast had this high score 2 weeks in a row.
Ooh. Well, I do have some of those in front of me. Last week's 92 points was their second highest score of the season, their highest since their earlier in the year. They haven't scored above 80 at Perth Stadium since their first game here this season, which I believe was against the Giants and was a win.
A restart. Bailey Williams won it down, but it's Laird who bursts through. Gets a hand pass forward to Schonberg. Will kick into the right forward pocket for the Crows. Ooh, big collision there. Rankin went up and absolutely crashed into Robham. Ball's on the deck. It's been locked in.
I'm sure he needed to do that, Rotham.
He's a little bit sore. Gets up holding his ribs. Looks like he's okay. Goes back into the fray. Thilthorpe had the touch. Hewitt tried to soccer it out of trouble. Straight back into a pack. Schonberg got it out for the Crows to Laird. Now to Saligo, who decides to have a shot, but he'll miss to the right-hand side. It will draw the Crows level, though, the minor score. 9-16-70 to 11-4-70 the Eagles. 24 gone in the third. The Bulldogs are now up by 31 points over the Cats. 29 gone in the last. So the Bulldogs will move in to the top 8. And they'll be relying on Carlton to do the right thing by them tomorrow against GWS. If the Giants beat the Blues, they will be back in that spot.
Still plenty on the line in the season as it winds down for half the teams in the competition. Duggan has the ball at left half back. Kicks over the top to Gaff. He plays on and handballs to the run of Marrick. Tried to sneak the ball through to Hewitt. Couldn't. The Crows win it back through Saligo. Chips it over the top. Finds Laird. Short into the middle, Dawson. Has a man with space for Shelley. Marks 60 from home. Runs to 55. Unloads at an open goal and away to the left. Much like the story of the night, a minor score for Adelaide. 9-17-71. The Eagles 11-4-70. The Crows do take the lead. A 1 point lead. 25 played third quarter.
Here's Jones beyond defensive 50 to Hearn. Drew a play towards him, then kicks past centre wing. Commentary side of the ground. Keane, the Irishman, is back there. Takes the defensive mark for the Crows and then turns it over. Kick down the throat of Hearn. Couldn't take the mark. And often the former skipper drops one. As Miller looks to hand pass in the direction of Thilthorpe, but he can't keep it in. It's off his knee, though, and over for a boundary throw-in. Both subs made, as we heard from Bridget downstairs. Jermaine Jones introduced for Luke Edwards, and Thilthorpe is on for Riley O'Brien. Ball put back into play by the boundary umpire. Bailey Williams front position, palmed it down. Cripps couldn't take it away. Emerging with it, Crouch got a hand pass to Murphy for the Crows. He'll kick long into the right forward pocket. Big fly. Rankin went up. Hoff elected to spoil. Throw it back over the boundary line. It'll be a throw-in at right half forward here for the Crows, who lead by a point. Grandstand AFL from Perth Stadium. 26 and a bit minutes gone in the third term.
So Tex Walker just gives some constructive feedback to a teammate saying, kick it to me. As he led up at the ball, he'll get more chances. Ball tossed back in. Thilthorpe taps it over the back. Or clever tap by Dawson to Keys. The Crows go inside forward 50. Players slipping over. Hearn stood up for West Coast. Got it to Witherden. And now through Hoff, the Eagles can clear if his kick can make it to Hewitt. It doesn't. Long crumbs the ball. High up and under. Michaelani and Cripps going out on the wing. The Eagle wins out at the boundary line. Beats them both in the end. It'll be a boundary throw in. Just forward of centre wing for the Crows. A 1 point lead to Adelaide. Disappointment last week. The controversial loss to the Swans, looking to bounce back. They lead here in the third. The Eagles win it through Gaff. Duggan. Kick around the corner up the wing to Darling's a good kick. Darling holds on to the second grab. Standing on the logo. Wants to play on. Wheels. Kicks it into the pocket. Allen gets free. Dropping back into space. Was Borlase. Did enough to affect the mark. Long got it to Kelly. Tried to break a tackle. The Eagles retreat. Shuey, 55 from home. Top of the square. Jack Williams going back. Can't mark. Diving in his Worrell. Taking in a tackle. Costs it up to Allen. And the Eagles' big man snaps truly. I'm about to say goal number 4. But once again, score review at the left end, the Graham Farmer end of the ground. It looked like a goal. They're checking whether it was touched off the boot by Rochelle. There's a clear gap. If that's what they're checking, this will be a goal for sure. Brilliant work once again by Oscar Allen. Goal number 4 about to be confirmed. Will give the Eagles back the lead. There it is. The Eagles fans applaud. They move to 12-4-76. Adelaide 9-17-71, a 5-point lead to West Coast. Our experts here on Grandstand AFL, Premiership High, Sharrod Wellingham, and Brownlow medalist Shane Woewode.
It's a great snap of the ball, isn't he, Oscar Allen? I think watching JK do it so well for the first few years of his career has obviously impacted him. It's a hard thing for a big tall to do that. The West Coast, ball movement then was pretty direct, and I like that. Jack Darling coming up at the ball, taking the mark on the wing, wheeling and going, and trying to get into that one-on-one.
Yeah, good from stoppage, bit more movement, send Cripps up to stoppage, get him inside, get him moving through the footy. Playing in front, Jack Darling.
Not sure what that cheer was for.
I'll tell you what it was for.
Same thing.
Adam Simpson on the big screen. Massive cheer from the Eagles fans. That's twice tonight as soon as he's appeared on the big screen.
A little something to the board.
Throwing up the restart. Both rucks missed it. It'll be Crouch that comes away with it. Shui copped a little bump in all of that. He's remained down on his haunches inside the centre circles as Smith kicks the Crows into the left forward pocket. Big pack up. No mark taken. Keys tries to work his way through. Just got a hand pass out. Petricelli mopped up. Gave it to Hoff. Gone defensive 50 at left half back. It's a push against Hinge. And Marrick will have the free kick for the Eagles. The Bulldogs, as we speak, are in the finals. They defeat the Cats by 25 points at Cardinia Park. They now have to wait and hope that Carlton beat the Giants tomorrow. The kick from Marrick is towards centre wing commentary side. Borlase is able to spoil it two-handed over the boundary line. Wait for it. That's Adam Simpson again on the big screen here at Perth Stadium.
You can't tell us that doesn't make him feel good. The Crows win the ball, though, from this stoppage. Handball from Schomburg was looking for Dawson. Dawson couldn't gather on the first attempt, then went back and got it. Shook the tackle. Kicks inside forward 50 at the back of Lance. Able to work around Shannon Hearn, take the mark. Go back and have
Walker
a shot
for the
on goal.
runaround.
Yeah. Where is Tex? Nowhere near it, and Jeremy McGovern is standing very close to Taylor Walker. The Lockie Glenn will get the chance to go back. He's allowed to have a shot at this one.
It's a really, really good mark up against someone as skillful as Shannon Hearn in a one-on-one.
So Gallant about 20 metres out, 45-degree angle to the left, a long run up. He's gone back almost all the way to the 50-metre, but he comes in now, kicks truly.
The Crows back in front. 10-17-77. They lead West Coast 12-4-76. Dying stages of the third quarter, deep into time on.
It was a really long run-up, wasn't it? I think that was like Ben Brown-like, wasn't it?
It was. Shades of the West Indies.
Yeah, they've got one in the wings there, though, haven't they, with Gallant?
Yeah. A couple of kilos over a couple of summers. He'll be...
Yep. And he's seen he can go on the ruck too and play that role and pinch hit. Kick for Marrick on this wing wasn't a great one for Darling. His advantage. And then Dawson, very good in that contest. Just about to will the footy forward and
stand up against two tackles. Yeah. Get the ball deep.
It's the Crows by a point. 32 and a bit minutes gone in the third. Back in the middle. One down here by Thilthorpe for the Crows. Trying to get it out was Kelly. His hand pass knocked to ground by Laird. Tried to slap it out. The Eagles will emerge with it. Well then was long. Got it to Kelly. Kicks high inside forward. 52 on 2 battle. Keane got a fist on it. Came out the back to Worrell. Gave it to Millerer. His kick was calm and precise to right half back where it's marked by Gallant. The most recent goal kicker. Comes down the commentary wing. Bailey Williams up, trying to win it down against Thilthorpe. He can go around and gather, though, for the Crows, and Thilthorpe hands it off. Here's Dawson. Ugly bounce. Had time to regather. Kicks towards left half forward. Set Smith a real task. Coming head-to-head with Honey Marks, and then spears it inside forward 50, and Fogarty has it. Marking in front of the left-hand behind post. He'll put Boots a ball from just inside 50.
Well within his range here, isn't he? He's going to be kicking from probably 51 metres, but that's no issue for Fogarty.
Gives the Sherrin its whirl, takes a deep breath. As we close in on three-quarter time, a true kick will put the Crows lead past 1 goal. From 49 metres out, doesn't look bad off the boot. It sails over the top of the goal umpire's hat for a major. The Crows out to a 7-point advantage at the 34-minute mark of the third. 11-17-83. West Coast 12-4-76 on Grandstand AFL. Our experts, Brownlow medalist Shane Woden, Premiership player Sharad Wellingham.
I just feel like Crows are getting a little bit of momentum around contests at the moment. They've had a little bit of a swing that was really quite even for the first half of the quarter, but it just feels like it's really gone.
Just a little bit transition from back half too. Be able to hold that footy in, West Coast. That's that team defence where I reckon if they hold up, they'll be okay, West Coast. If they don't, they can get scored easily. 28 scoring shots already.
The inside 50 count favouring the Crows more and more as the game goes on. It's now an 18 differential the way of Adelaide. As the ball's back underway in the middle, diving in as West Coast. It's
weight of numbers just can hurt you at the end of the day, can't it? You can be as effective as you want.
It's Petruccelli in there trying to pry it out. Couldn't. Ball back up in the air. Knocked down the way of the Crows. Schonberg gets it to Crouch. Handballs forward to Pedler. His kick inside the forward 50. Lands in the path of Hearn. He was met solidly by Fogarty. That's two big men crashing in. The Eagles end up with the ball in their possession. Jones. Handballs back to Kelly. His kick up the boundary line, looking for a target in Williams. Finds him. The siren sounds. The Crows will take a 7-point lead into the final term. 11-17-83. They lead West Coast 12-4-76. A riveting quarter from both sides. The Crows kicked 6 goals that quarter. The Eagles kicking 4. It's game on heading into the fourth here at Perth Stadium. Clint Wheeldon, the goal kickers, a few players putting their hands up with some big bags tonight.
Gee, it's been an entertaining game too. Scrappy at times, but end to end. It's a lot to like. And a quarter to come as West Coast find themselves back at the foot of the ladder. And they drag themselves off it. Will Adelaide be able to finish the season with a victory? For the Crows, 5 to Taylor Walker, 2 to Josh Rochelle. Singles to Keys, to Saligo, to Fogarty and to Gallant. While for the West Coast Eagles, Oscar Allen has 4, Jack Darling has 3. Singles to Shuey, to Cripps, to Cole, to Jermaine Jones and to Jack Williams. Three-quarter time, 1 quarter left in the season of both these footy clubs, and it's the Crows that have the advantage. They're up by 7 points. Quick check on those other games today. The Western Bulldogs have just beaten the Cats by 25 points at Cardinia Park. It puts them into 8th spot as we speak. Whether they stay there will hinge on if Carlton can beat the Giants tomorrow. A win to GWS would see them move back ahead of the Western Bulldogs and into the top 8. The other games today, Brisbane locked in 2nd spot with a 12-point win over the Saints. North Melbourne, for a short time, have climbed off the bottom of the ladder. They won by 35 points over the Suns, and Fremantle finished their year with a 37-point win over the Hawks. But with a quarter to come at Perth Stadium, it's the Eagles by 7 points. Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio Sport Digital. Nowadays, of course, look for the AFL Extra button streaming on the ABC Listen app.
Hey, it's Declan and Lavender from Sport and Spice, where the chat is well seasoned.
Spicy even. Every week we keep you in the loop with the juiciest and most important and sometimes most ridiculous sports stories around.
We also chat to plenty of amazing athletes along the way.
People are uncomfortable having the conversation with the person that is struggling.
A lot of the stuff at the moment in netball is not positive.
As I got there, I did see a croc jump from the bank into the water.
Sport and Spice. Find it on the ABC Listen app or in the podcast store under the Best of ABC Sport.
Grandstand AFL.
Now streaming every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Cripps has it for West Coast. Kicks towards the goal square. There's a wrestle on. Body on body. Williams knocks it into the path of Darling. He comes through. Sockers it off the ground and gets his third. Kicks it towards a target. Open man in the pocket. The Eagles can't get back. Offhand. Spills to Walker. And now Tex has his third. That was the easiest of the lot. It fell in his lap at the top of the goal square, able to dribble it through.
Oh, but he couldn't mark. Here's Walker again. Gathers, snaps and goals. He's got more. Big Tex draws level with Larkey on 71.
To Petrescu-Seaton. Handball off to Cripps. Shot on goal. It's good.
And then he'll pop it into the right forward pocket. Guess who? Walker. Snaps around the body.
Brings it around perfectly.
Just ignore the question asked before, because when Walker can do that, he's got 5. No wonder you look for him at every opportunity.
Top of the square, Jack Williams going back. Can't mark. Diving in his Worrell. Taking in a tackle. Costs it up to Allen. And the Eagles' big man snaps truly. Couldn't gather on the first attempt, then went back and got it. Shook the tackle. Kicks inside 450 at the back. Lands. He's gone back almost all the way to the 50 metre, but he comes in now. Kicks truly. The Crows back in front.
The 2023 AFL season.
On radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and now streaming on the ABC Listen app.
There's a quarter to come in the season of both West Coast and Adelaide, and at 3/4 time at Perth Stadium, it's the Crows who lead by 7 points. Let's get the thoughts of our experts Shane Woden and Sharad Wellingham on Grandstand AFL.
Weighted numbers, Sharad, that quarter, was it 6-7 to 4-1? On a territory battle, and just probably 60-40 winning that quarter to put themselves in front. Again, just whether or not West Coast can be efficient when they do go forward. The numbers are not stacking up in terms of their supply and their ability to win the ball as much. But if they can be as efficient and hit the scoreboard and score, they'll keep themselves in the game. And if they can defend the ground a bit better. At the moment, when Adelaide do go forward, again, just the backs are under a bit of heat. What inside 50s now?
That was
-9 that quarter.
Yeah.
And I think Mitch said 18 or 19.
I think that for them to be able, they're going to obviously have the ball going into the back half. I want to see them either go in one side and out the other, like switch it and go outside the other side of the balls to the way the balls come in, or as they're exiting, try and change the angles a little bit and move the defence. Adelaide's defence is able to set up really quite well at the moment, and just pull it all out there. Have a crack at something and try something.
Tim Kelly dominating for West Coast, leading the disposal count for the side. He's up to 32. His season high is 36. Adelaide leading all major categories at inside 50 count, as the boys spoke about, 51-32 the way of the Crows. The margin, 7 points the way of Adelaide as well. Their leading disposal getter. Rory Laird with 27, Matt Crouch with 25. Tex Walker trailing Charlie Curnow by 3 goals. As I hand over to Clint Wilden for the fourth quarter here at Perth Stadium.
And the final game in the AFL careers of Luke Shuey and Shannon Hearn. Perhaps the final game for Adam Simpson as Eagles coach. What will be as we're underway in this final term, and it's Bailey Williams who slaps it forward for West Coast, but Laird is there for the Crows. Got it to Schonberg. Hand pass out to Saligo. Crows going to attack the first time in this quarter. The pass is stabbed towards Fogarty. He marks it right half forward and finds Tex Walker. Walker marking in the right forward pocket. 45 from goal, 45-degree angle to the right.
Geez, they were out the front then. That was a great ruck knock from Williams onto Petruccelli. Didn't quite work out. Saligo's entry to Fogarty. Good hit. And then the connection piece here.
Here he goes. Tex Walker needs another 3 goals to draw level with Charlie Curnow. Walker's kick's on its way. The Crows fans behind the goal at the Farmer Freeway end. They stand as one. He's got 6 now, Walker. What a performance he's had. It's been a sideshow worthy of the main events. The Crows 12-17-89 to the Eagles 12-4-76. Opening 70 seconds of the final term on Grandstand AFL.
Not sure what's happened to, was it Schoenberg who went off injured then?
Yeah, like an ankle, didn't it?
Looked like he really hurt his ankle. That's a great goal, isn't it?
Oh. Mate, and considering probably 2 years ago, gone. Really?
Probably at the end, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's had a couple of great years.
Oh, hasn't he? What?
Just turning it on again. Tex Walker, 6 goals to his name. Plenty of time left early in this fourth quarter. The Eagles led by as much as 17 points after Darling gold early in the third. Now it's Adelaide by 13. Ball socket forward by West Coast, but the Crows win it back. Murphy streaming inside forward 50. Fogarty couldn't mark. Falls off hands. Players crashing in. Thilthorpe gets it to Rankin. Tries to dribble one towards goal. Jones for West Coast. Oh, ran into trouble. Caught by Walker. Oh, he threw the ball. Oh, no. Taken high. And he just tossed it away, Jermaine Jones. But the Walker tackle slipped.
Hands on head. He can't believe it.
That was his 7th right there.
He had him cold, as they say, Tex Walker, right at the top of the square, but it was a Jones free kick. His kick goes outside defensive 50. Petresi Seaton gives it to Kelly. Gives it to Cripps on the wing. Has Hewitt all on his own inside forward 50. Wants to get it to Allen in the goal square. Didn't. Had Cripps running past. Plays on. Gives it to him. The kick towards Allen. Too hot. Miller takes possession. Gives it to Thilthorpe and the Crows have it back.
I sort of get what Adelaide is doing looking for Tex. I'm not sure what the Eagles are doing. They should have kicked that goal. Unbelievable decision from Cripps. As the Crows come down the outer wing. With it now as Laird at right half forward. Here is Walker. Marks and plays on for the right forward pocket. There's his 7th. Oh, Taylor. Goodness me. He's just a miracle to watch. What a show he has put on tonight at Perth Stadium. And he's now just 1 shy of drawing level with Charlie Curnow. 7 for Walker, 13 for the Crows, 13-17-95. The Eagles at 12-4-76, 3 and a bit gone in the last bridge at Lacey.
Yeah, you mentioned Harry Schoenberg limping off in the hands of the trainers. He's lying face down on the benches there, and they're looking at the back of his right ankle and doing a fair bit of work on that. We'll keep you updated. Oh, the ice is going on, so his day's done.
Popped the calf in the last game, maybe? Yeah.
It's lower than that.
Achilles. The thing I loved about that footage is Tex Walker was still hitting up and working hard up to outside 50 and then beating his opponent back towards goal. So it's not like he's just lurking around getting cheap ones. Work rate's there.
Paul back in the middle. Free kick going the way of West Coast, and it goes the way of Tim Kelly. Disposal 34
runs out of the middle, takes a bounce, kicks it towards the top of the square. Darling floats across and takes a strong mark. The Crows might be trying to feed Tex Walker for the Coleman, but West Coast are trying to farewell their club legends. Jack Darling hasn't kicked 4 goals in a game this season, already has 3. Kick from almost directly in front. Can't miss this, surely, Jack Darling. Comes in. Kick is on the way. Yes. The umpire falls over, does the splits, and I apologise, Jack. I apologise, West Coast fans. He pulls it to the left horribly.
How?
A horrible miss. Not quite Joe Danaher earlier today, but it's a minor score. The Crows lead by 18 points.
Crows turn it over to, going beyond defensive 50, down the throat of Kelly, who marks it right half forward. It's from Hinge's kick. He puts it back to full forward. Good defensive mark, though. Crows last player back in Hinge again. He'll get a second opportunity to kick beyond defensive 50. Here he goes to the same spot towards left half back. There's a few more Crows here now. Going up from the side, Dilthorpe. Fogarty's able to gather. Tackled by Hearn. Just got the hand pass out to Rochelle. Lovely hand pass too to Rankin. It opens up in front of him. Draws players towards him. Pops a hand pass over the top to Dilthorpe. Goes looking for Walker. McGovern did well. Spoiled it down. Jermaine Jones steps away from one Crow and then cleverly finds Rotham, who marks it right half back. Score remains a lead to the Crows of 18 points. 6 gone in the final term.
Just got too close then, Tex. Tick lead.
Rotham at right half back, kicks to the wing. Keane able to mark for Adelaide unopposed. So has a chance to set up the play again for the Crows. Kicks inside to Worrell. Has the ball on the wings. He kicks into the middle of the ground for Millera.
As we welcome our listeners joining us from Victoria, Tasmania and the Northern Territory, welcome here towards Perth Stadium. Good to have your company. Real battle on here. The Crows 13-17-95 to the Eagles 12-5-77 as Rankin for the Crows spins. But from right half forward puts it down the throat of Hoff, who then turns it over. It's there towards Smith, who marks. He pops it forward to Rochelle and he marks in the right forward pocket. While the game itself and the 4 points must be the major discussion, along with other narratives about the futures of Adam Simpson and the farewell of 2 Eagles greats playing in Luke Shuey and Shannon Hearn, with Nick Natanui also retiring, but he's, of course, unavailable to play. The other main storyline tonight has been the Crows and their desperate attempts to get the ball to Taylor Walker at every opportunity. He currently has 7 goals. More on that in a moment. As Rochelle in from the right forward pocket, has put it through for his 3rd. Very important goal for the Adelaide Crows, and it sees their lead now stretched to 24 points. 14-17-101 to West Coast 12-5-77. Walker went into this game 8 behind Charlie Curnow in the race for the Coleman medal. He's now just 1 behind him with his 7 goals. Curnow, of course, playing tomorrow. But Adelaide have done absolutely everything they can do to feed Tex Walker tonight. We'll hear more from Bridget Lacey in a second. Shane Woden, Sharad Willingham, your thoughts?
And if you had a little bit of composure first, in the first quarter, he's probably got that already.
And then you don't wish ill on anybody, but you hope that Curnow doesn't do a hammy in the warm-up or something, and then...
It's shades of Fev, you know,
yeah.
Isn't it? Carlton trying to feed him 8 goals to get that 100th goal. He's getting very close. He's one off, as we say, catching Charlie Curnow. Ball back in the middle. Coming through was Shuey, taking the ground and the Pedler tackle, ball up. Big punch forward by Williams. Fell in the hands, though, of Millera for the Crows. Sweeping handball wide to Worrell. Had a fumble. Almost coughed it up, but eventually got it to Crouch. His kick up the wing for Adelaide was straight to the chest of Brady Hoff. Gets a shove from Rankin. There's been a bit of back and forth between those two tonight. Not unusual to see Isaac Rankin getting involved in a little bit of push and shove. Petreski-Seaton has it at left half back for West Coast and shares it wide with Hunt. Hunt's kick up the wing to Long. Takes off, runs across half-back. Long looping kick to Shannon Hearn. Has the ball inside, defensive 50. Gets the cheers again. Retreats back to McGovern. West Coast waiting for an opening. McGovern's kick out wide, finds the chest of Witherden. The Crows lead by 24 points. Almost 10 minutes played. Fourth quarter. Kick up the wing, looking for a target. Dawson floating across. Wanted to be paid the mark. He wasn't. The Crows have it back, and Saligo shares it with Murphy and gets it back.
Heads in the direction of Keys. He marks it right half forward. Turns. He wants Walker. Won't find him with that kick. Golan underneath it takes the mark. Between full forward and centre half forward. Where's Tex?
Luke Shuey next to him.
Shuey stood right next to him.
Don't even think about it, bud.
Yep.
Stay right there.
He's giving away a bit of height and weight, it must be said, Luke Shuey, in that battle, but he was absolutely determined that Tex wouldn't get a cheapie with this.
He's just following him.
He's all over it, isn't he?
Gallant back in the team this week for the Adelaide Crows. First AFL game since round 10. Has one already tonight. He'll kick from in line with the left hand goal post. He hits the right hand goal post from 30 metres out. Disappointing. 14-18, 102 the Crows, 12-5, 77 the Eagles. It's a 25-point lead, 11 gone into the last on Grandstand AFL. Clint Wilton alongside Mitch Turner, our experts Sharad Wellingham and Shane Woden.
Shannon Hearn goes wide to the pocket, finds McGovern. The Eagles, with nothing but pride to play for and sending off their champions, need to make a run sooner rather than later. The kick to the wing by McGovern was knocked off hands, and the Crows win it back. Pedler through traffic, able to handball out to Parnell. Lost the ball, was taken in a long tackle. The Eagles have it back now. Shuey, ducks the head, lifts the shoulder. Was taken high. The umpire said no.
Come on, umpire.
No sense of theatre for the moment.
It's his last game.
He's done it so well over his career. The umpire wasn't sucked into it this time as the ball goes back up. Thilthorpe knocks it down. Sharked by Gaff for West Coast. Kicks up the wing, coming through Bailey Williams. Handball to Cripps. Kicks inside the forward 50. Hangs in the air. Doesn't make it in the end. Hinge there to knock it out of bounds with a big double fist. The attendance here at Perth Stadium tonight, 47,027 fans packing in to see Shannon Hearn and Luke Shuey say farewell to the AFL.
Ball thrown back in. At the back, it spills down towards Gaff. He kicks towards the right forward pocket. 2-on-2 battle. No mark taken. Keen's at the back for the Crows. Gave it to Saligo to share it around through Hinge. Right back to the very edge of the goal line. It's marked again here by King. The Irishman pauses for a second. Thought about going to the outer side. Now steps around Allen, takes him on and just gets the kick away. Gets past the despairing dive of Allen, but turns it over, diving forward to Marcus Gaff.
Show of strength from Gaffy.
He's going to have to pass this off because I think it's outside his range.
Darling.
Still might be tired from running down Josh Rochelle earlier tonight when he showed the sort of pace we hadn't seen for a long time from the 31-year-old. Running by here's McGovern. Hands it off to McGovern. He'll load up. He's not going to kick anything with that except flatter it into the... into the fence to the left of the posts. He really wanted that football, McGovern. And unfortunately for the Eagles, missed to the left. Missed everything.
Adelaide being a... Sorry, no what?
You know who was on the bench?
Shannon
Hearn. Which is exactly what he loves to do. Go on, Sharad.
Adelaide being a number down on the bench. Still a little while to go in the quarter could impact their running out of the game.
Gallant takes the mark on the far side. Kick up the wing was a dangerous one. Knocked away by West Coast. Petreski-Seaton gives it to Shuey. Tumbles the ball inside forward 50. Hinge gets there first for the Crows. Kicks across the face of goal. Good enough to find Worrell in the left back pocket. Plays on. Has a man all on his own on the wing. Rochelle takes the mark. Cripps gets there in time to hold him up. Rochelle's kick up the wing's a good one to Pedler. The Crows moving it forward. Rotham on Tex, Walker up the ground. He loses him. The kick goes towards Tex. He takes the juggling mark.
kick that.
And the juggling mark, the second attempt, forced him to 55. He played on quickly, got under the ball, kicked towards the square, not going to make the distance. Petrevski's seating there for West Coast. Now Jermaine Jones loops a handball over to Duggan. Too slow, wrapped up by Rankin. Umpire called play on. Keys. Underground handball to Laird. Now Rochelle inside 50, retreats out to Crouch. Kicks it back to the hot spot. Players wrestling there. Crow player goes down. The umpire blows the whistle. It's a free kick to Luke Pedlar. Tex Walker just rushed that last one again. The adrenaline is pumping.
Yeah, Hunt stayed. He wasn't on the mark, Hunt, but he stayed in the area.
Just in the bit to the side of where he was going to play on. He had to go straight over the top of Hunt, and that was why it kind of got under it a bit.
Yeah, take your 30. Wait till that clears, and then have a ping.
The free kick went against Rotham to Luke Pedlar. Infringed on him. Has been able to find the scoreboard this year. This time he finds it, but it's not the one he was looking for. It's a minor score. The Crows 14-19, 103. West Coast 12-5, 77.
The Eagles move it quickly towards centre half back. Here's Shuey. Oh, tackled, had it knocked out of his grasp by Pedlar, who got him and got the free kick. The retiring captain throws the ball back in frustration. The Crows have it.
It's a one-on-one with Witherden.
Kicks inside forward 50. They want Walker. Marks on his chest. Deep in the left forward pocket.
Better gone earlier. It's in a better spot.
He looks out on his feet, doesn't he?
He does. He looks cool.
He's knackered.
Tex Walker. This will take some sort of kick. We know it's well within him, though. This to draw level with Charlie Curnow in the Coleman medal race. It has somehow found a way to bounce through.
No, they haven't touched this.
If they have not.
The Eagles have not touched this football. That has bounced through. There were 4 Eagles within half a metre of each other, and somehow the ball has tumbled end on end and gone through for a goal. Tom Cole has not touched that.
He was complaining about a shepherd, not that he touched it.
But by the contact is actually coming from St. Petrevski's Seaton, like in the back, that Tom Cole, the only thing he'd whinge has to...
Bill thought holding him from the other side.
Oh, yeah, true.
There's an arm around Petrevski.
He hasn't touched it. He turned to the field umpire and complained about the hold.
Yeah.
Never looked at the goal umpire.
Wow.
If this has bounced through, this is the goal that will draw Tex Walker level with 75 goals alongside Charlie Curnow at the top of the Coleman medal race. We wait and watch. One replay, then a second.
Goal.
It's a goal.
The plot thickens.
Chad, we're all square at the top of the Coleman medal race. 75 apiece between Charlie Curnow and Tex Walker. Walker now has 8. And I would think that those up in the arc could give it a bit more of a pump up than that. But nonetheless, it's been remarkable.
Charlie tomorrow just says, everyone get out.
Get out of my way. Let me kick 1 goal.
Do you reckon Tex gives Sam Taylor a call? Hello, Sam. Do your best for us, would you? 15-19, 109 the Crows, 12-5, 77 the Eagles, 18 gone in the last.
I think it'd be, if he does do a wonderful job, you send him a bottle of wine or something.
Yeah.
You want more than a bottle of wine, wouldn't you? Maybe a crate.
A nice bottle.
Since the 12-minute mark of the third quarter, Tex Walker's kicked 6 goals. So he's kicked 6 goals in a quarter of football, essentially, as we're 18 minutes through this final term. Adelaide win the ball out of the middle again. Pedlar kicks it in the Walker direction. McGovern this time going back. Takes the mark, too strong. And the Eagles will be able to repel for the time being. The fist comes on the wing from Millerer. The Eagles win it back. Jones shares it with Hoff. It's the ball back and finds Petruccelli inboard. Wants to turn and go. West Coast kick up the wing. The target is Marrick going back 2-on-1. The Crows do well. Darling coming through, can't win the ball. Worrell for Adelaide, got it to Laird.
Now Pedler has some space in front. Target up the field is Rankin. Walker's one-on-one inside 50. It's Walker and McGovern. The kick goes in that direction. McGovern in front, couldn't take the mark. Got back on it. Walker couldn't stop him. And now Cole in the defensive goal square will bring the ball out to Petreski-Seaton.
Worth reminding everyone and telling those who've just joined us, Walker did have an ankle issue early in the game. He's run that out as the Eagles run the ball out of their defensive 50. Duggan now with Petreski-Seaton. Tried to fire a pass to Petruccelli. Chopped off though by Laird. Hand pass to Gallant. Moves it on again. Now it's with Dawson. He's got options and he finds one short. The ball to Rochelle. He marks and plays on to Soligo in the right forward pocket. All uncontested marks.
Rankin's kick lacked depth, didn't it? He just had to get over the top a little bit more.
Everyone's out on their feet, both teams at the moment.
They look pretty exhausted, don't they?
Where's Tex remains the one question. Standing at the top of the goal square. Jake Soligo will be putting boots a ball from 40 out. 45-degree angle to the right. He puts it through for his second. And as we hit time on in the final term, if there's any doubt, that's over now. The West Coast Eagles are the wooden spooners for 2023. The Crows' lead is 38 points, 16-19, 115 to the Eagles, 12-5-77.
Do you
over to you,
clear out,
Ryan?
Yeah. Do you clear out the 50 and have all the forwards high, bar Tex? Try and jag a couple more for him.
Yep. Absolutely. Game dead and buried.
Bridget Lacey downstairs.
Shannon Hearns just jogged onto the ground for the very last time, and Luke Shuey just recently came to the bench, so it'll be a race against time to see if he gets back on before the end of the game. You'd think he would.
Josh Rotham into the ruck for West Coast. Interesting.
A little bit of it during pre-season games at times. Josh Rotham has done it in the waffle, but not a lot at senior level, but he wins the ball the way of the Eagles this time. Kelly couldn't take possession. Soligo in there for the Crows. The ball just surging towards West Coast forward 50. Kelly slipped over. And Adelaide won it through Laird, Crouch, and now Soligo. Back to Laird, back to Soligo, back to Crouch. Ball going up the wing through hands for the Crows. Kick towards half forward is good to Gallant. Kick and a half from home, just outside right half forward. McGovern stands next to Walker. Kick goes in that direction. Tex falls over at the front. Ball goes to the back. Umpire says play on. Diving in is Pedler, taken to ground in a dumping tackle, says the umpire. Elijah Hewitt pinned to take him to ground. He had Pedler in an awkward position. We'll wait and see the replay.
He could be missing round one. I've got to see the replay though. I had a few players in the way.
Would be a blow as we wait to see the replay. 25 goals this season. Luke Pedler, certainly an up-and-coming star for the Crows. The 21-year-old on the way is away to the left. Minus score as the Crows move to 16-20, 116. The Eagles 12-5-77. Luke Shuey does make it back onto the ground.
Not long to go now. Ball moved by the Eagles towards right half back. Petruccelli short to Duggan. Plays on by hand to Petruccelli. Can't get away from the good tackle coming from Hinge. Got a hand pass out. Now it's with Shuey. Kicks towards right half forward. Intercepted by Keane. Marks for the Crows at left half back. Walker is one-on-one with Shannon Hearn inside forward 50.
He's got the island to himself.
Yep. It's the rage in the cage. Who'll win that one as McGovern goes up and gets a fist to the footy at left half forward for the Crows and defensively sees it over the boundary line for a throw-in. What a battle that has been over a number of years. He's got 8 goals. Can he kick one to go ahead of Charlie Curnow and make it even more interesting tomorrow? Throwing in. Rotham wins it again in the ruck battle. Came out towards Hewitt. Couldn't take it to Thilthorpe. He'll kick towards Walker. He's got 3 Eagles to beat here with it and in front. Punches it towards the boundary line. Sees it over for a throw-in at left full forward. The Crows are going to win. It's just a matter of the margin. And indeed a matter of if Tex can kick 9. Adelaide lead by 39 points, 24 gone in the last.
Push Rotham off the footy.
He just gestured to the umpire, grabbed his Guernsey and said, I was being held, umpire. He's in the ruck here against Rotham. Gets front position, takes out the ruck, snaps it on the left, follows up his own work, then tries to do a Wayne Harms out of midair and knock it back into the field of play. But on this occasion, the umpire says, no, it was out of bounds. It's out on the full. Jermaine Jones wins the free kick in the right back pocket. Desperate to get to his own miss kick then, Taylor Walker, as Jones' kick comes outside defensive 50. Borlase did well to knock it down to Laird. Then Smith back inside the Tex direction again. This time he marks it. Stood under the high ball, had to be strong. Players coming from everywhere. Plays on, snaps around the body. It's 9 for Tex. He hits the lead in the Coleman medal race. He goes out by 1. And it's over to you, Charlie Curnow, to retake the lead tomorrow against the Giants. Tex Walker has 9 goals to follow his 10 against the Eagles in round 13. The margin 17-20, 122. The Eagles 12-5, 77, a 45-point lead late in the fourth.
So Curnow in the 2 games...
19. And Tex so far, 19. 2 games against West Coast. If nothing else, West Coast have been even so far when it comes to helping out these 2 key forwards. Taylor Walker with 9 tonight, but we know Charlie Curnow will play tomorrow.
There is time.
Not bad being the clubhouse leader, though. Bill Thorpe let the telling tap down, but it only went as far as Duggan. He kicks the Eagles inside forward 50. It's allowed to bounce. Long try to tap it back into the corridor. There are Crows there. Worrell got a hand pass away to Miller and now to Dawson. Sweeps the hand pass to the direction of Crouch, who gathers. They're charging down the southern wing. It comes to Laird. Now an opportunity for Parnell. Kicks in the direction of Walker.
Stop it. No.
Big Tex.
2 tens.
Marks 40 out from goal. Slight angle to the left.
Who is the last player to kick 2 bags of 10 in a season? I'm gonna look it up.
I was going to say, you know not to ask those questions if you don't know the answer.
You call the goal if he kicks it. I'll look it up.
Tex Walker looking for 10. Back-to-back 10s against the West Coast Eagles. Walker's kick's on its way. It misses. He can't believe it.
And he is exhausted.
I'll pause.
He hasn't come off this quarter.
Still find the answer. You never know. It's a minor score to the right. 17-21, 123 the Crows. 12-5, 77 the Eagles. 27 gone in the last.
Hearn goes short, finds the chest of Shuey. The 2 outgoing, retiring Eagles sharing it deep in defence. Shuey goes to Jermaine Jones. Plays on. Got into a bit of trouble. Kicked up to the wing. Looking for Darling. Able to take it on the second bite. The Crows lead by 46 points. Darling plays on in the wing, gets in trouble, got caught, was able to manufacture a kick, somehow got it up the wing to Liam Duggan. He goes short, back inboard to Shuey, a left foot switch across the ground, bouncing ball to McGovern. Tex Walker's putting everything he has in to try and close him down, but McGovern's able to clear back to Darling again. The ball bobbling away, goes onto it, takes the bounce up the wing, kicks it and finds Gaff, who takes the mark despite the late contact from Rankin. So Tex Walker, if you're just joining us, 9 goals, 1 ahead in the Coleman as Luke Shuey kicks the ball deep inside forward 50 for West Coast. On hands and knees was Keane. The Crows able to get it out through Laird. His kick towards the middle of the ground found the chest of Keys. The Crows, there's clearly one thing on their mind. They want to get the ball to Tex. They're trying to move it quickly. Kick goes out to the wing, into the path of Dawson. Gathered it. Handball to Rochelle. Wheels and goes. Kicks inside forward 50. Keys gets a spoil in. Jermaine Jones, though, able to bounce, gather, take possession, kick wide, and a bobbling ball will stay in bounds for Oscar Allen and eventually bobble out of bounds and been paid deliberate. It'll go to West Coast. It'll go to Oscar Allen. He kicks inside the forward 50, looking for Bailey Williams.
He takes the mark. We'll go back, take the set shot. As the clock ticks down.
Where's Shannon Hurn?
Dying stages. Shannon Hurn.
Oh, he's on the...
Nowhere near it, and he's looking sore and tired.
He's got his back to Bailey J. No interest in running past for a handball receive.
So the margin sits at 46 points, the way of the Crows. The Eagles will finish last. This could be the last kick of their season. Bailey Williams, kick on the way, is away to the right. It'll be no fairy tale for the West Coast retiring champions. They don't get the result they want, but Adelaide finished the season on a high after a tough week for the Crows. They get the win, 45 points here in Perth. Tex Walker, 9 goals. Admiration of the nation, our determination shows. We're the pride of South Australia, where the mighty Adelaide Crows. So the Crows, who led by 10 points at quarter time and then trailed by 11 at half time, put on a powerful second half, won by 45 points. Adelaide finished the year with 11 wins, agonisingly close to the finals. For West Coast, it's a final game for Luke Shuey and Shannon Hurn. Will it be the final game for coach Adam Simpson? What's next for West Coast? An interesting 7 days in front of everyone in blue and gold. Taylor Walker did everything that he could do tonight, just to throw another interesting curveball into the race for the Coleman medal. As Mitch told you, he finishes with 9. So he has 76 for the season, one more than Charlie Curnow, who will play tomorrow as Carlton take on GWS. Curnow will need 2 to go back in front and claim the Coleman in the final game of the season. Nice way for that medal to be decided. Adelaide 17, 21, 123. West Coast 12, 6, 78. We will take quite a lot of the presentations downstairs as Nick Natanui also makes his way out onto the ground, was never able to get back from the Achilles injury that saw his career stall on 213 games. His last game, round 22, last season. But the superstar, the 3-time All-Australian, dual best and fairest winner, Mark of the Year winner, twice kicking match-winning goals, one of those after the siren against North Melbourne in 2013 and one with 3 seconds left against the Giants, will also say farewell. Amongst the ever-reliable premiership captain in Shannon Hurn, as Natanui goes to give Tex Walker a big hug on the logo beneath our broadcast position. Shannon Hurn, grand final player, premiership captain, games record holder, dual All-Australian, the first and so far the only 300-game Eagle retiring. And Luke Shuey, who was the epitome of a big game player, premiership player, Norm Smith medalist, twice a best and fairest, captain for 4 seasons, and another who kicked a goal after the siren to win in 2017 in the finals against Port Adelaide. Fittingly with the national competition, Hurn from SA, Shuey from Melbourne, from Bulleen Templestowe Junior Football Club, and Natanui, a local from out at Midland. All 3 of them with enormous careers with the West Coast Eagles. And both sets of players, and indeed all the Eagles football staff, friends and family,
all lining up beneath us to thank these three for what they have done for the West Coast Eagles Football Club. It's not the farewell that they would have wanted. Certainly a career with some major milestones and many outstanding memories. Their television commitments have finished. They're going to make their way across and speak to the crowd. We'll bring you some of that as well. Adelaide victorious on the scoreboard by 45 points. The Crows stand to pay their respects as Shuey goes to give Natanui an enormous hug. Natanui will make his way across with Shannon Hearn, both being given microphones to speak to the Eagles on-ground MC, who's downstairs to have a chat with them. Luke Shuey standing with his teammates. It's the end of an era for West Coast.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've had a chance to farewell tonight a couple of greats on the field in Shannon Hearn and Luke Shuey, and a bloke that sadly wasn't able to get out there to pull the jumper on just one last time in Nick Natanui. What about putting your hands together for Bunga and Nick Nat and Lukey? Come on, Luke. What a contribution that these three have made to our football club. Nick, obviously weren't able to join the boys out there in the field of battle tonight. I know you'd be disappointed for the boys they didn't get the job done tonight, but what's it meant for you representing this football club? 100,000 fans.
Oh yeah, just thankful for everyone that's come out tonight and supported us over the years through thick and thin, and proud of the boys, and especially these two standing alongside them, what they've achieved over their careers. And good to see Luke kick a goal today in his final game, but obviously not the end result we wanted, but so appreciative of everyone that came down tonight.
Bunga, a boy from South Australia, they reckon that no one could play 300 games out west. You're in the games record holder for the football club. How do you feel right now?
Well, it's been a great journey, and we've been spoken about a lot. It's been fortunate enough to be at such a great club. Western Australia is a fantastic place that loves its footy. So, to be able to play with so many great players, meet so many great people in the West Coast, I've been very fortunate, and some memories I'll have forever.
Lukey, I know that for you, mate, a Victorian boy, captain of the club, burrowed in again all night. It's what we've loved from you. We're always going to remember that 2018 grand final, 34 disposals and a Norm Smith medal. What a way to go out tonight, mate, and career well done.
Thank you, Carl. Thanks to Adelaide. Second year in a row you've paid your respects for us. Well done, a great year. Plenty there to work with for you boys, but thanks for your respect tonight, and always enjoyed playing against you. It speaks volumes for your footy club, so thanks for being here tonight, and thanks to all our fans. Amazing.
What about putting your hands together one more time for Bunga, Boots and Nick Nat? I don't know who's going to be cheering off Nick Nat. I think he's walking. Well done, boys.
That would be a challenging job, cheering off Nick Natanui.
He doesn't want it either.
No, I think he's told his teammates that I'm quite happy to wander over here. Nice to see Shannon Hearn's family, Dad William, Mum Sandy, Sister Ashton, all downstairs. Natanui's son Ezekiel, partner Brittany's there.
JK getting involved.
And Luke Shuey, kids Ollie and Georgia and wife Danny all there. As Gaff and McGovern lift up Shannon Hearn, Luke Shuey waits for Josh Kennedy in the casual clothes to go out alongside Liam Duggan to lift him up. Two premiership players for the West Coast Eagles leaving Perth Stadium as players for the final time. Nick Natanui making his way off under his own reconnaissance. There'll be barely a dry eye in the house. Both of them then let down onto the ground. It's handshakes all round with Josh Kennedy and McGovern and Natanui. And Luke Shuey, classy as ever, goes across once more to thank Adelaide for sticking around. Great touch shown by the Adelaide Football Club, and Shannon Hearn goes across to show his appreciation, as does Nick Natanui to Tex Walker to Rory Laird. They've been fierce rivals on so many occasions. They pay their respects to each other now. What now for Adam Simpson as the coach makes his way around to thank his assistants? We know that there will be a number of changes at the West Coast Eagles in their coaching department. Will he be one of them? Will Simpson remain? Has this performance, which was valiant for 3 quarters, and that huge win over the Western Bulldogs last week, be enough to see him remain in the job for 2024? There's a lot to play out as the Adelaide Crows make their way across to their supporters, who were raucous enough at times tonight as they tried to will Taylor Walker on to take the lead in the Coleman medal. Give me a lap of honour from those retiring Eagles. Luke Shuey with one of his youngsters, Georgia, up on his shoulders, and Ollie walking behind, starting to make their way around the ground. The Eagles are going to spend some time out in the middle as well, just thanking their supporters, who have been immense in what's been another disappointing year. Just 3 wins for the season, 5 across the past 2. But tonight again turned out in big numbers, over 47,000 tonight to farewell 3 greats of the club. Let's get the thoughts of our experts. Firstly on the game itself, and then of course looking ahead to what it might mean for Adelaide. It was a season of what-ifs for the Crows, but they look set in what would be Matthew Nix's last year of his contract, perhaps set for finals next year. And what now for the West Coast Eagles? Shane Wood, Sharad Wellingham, I'll throw it over to you.
I was an avalanche tonight, really. It was about sustained effort. If they could do it for as long, West Coast, and arguably they couldn't really at the end, and the numbers obviously dictated that throughout the evening, and they just bashed them, really, throughout the evening. Inside 50s, plus 26, and the scoreboard, I think there was, what's that, 38 scoring shots to 18, plus 20 scoring shots. So I think it was the result that we were definitely see coming. And but yeah, certainly Adelaide can hold their heads high on their season. A couple of games they probably could have won throughout the year to get themselves there, but they'll be bigger and better next year. And West Coast effort was there, no doubt. They're just not clinical with ball in hand just yet, and that comes with experience, obviously, and the players that are out. But at least you could see some what they're trying to do within their game style, and again, those kids will grow and mature and become more experienced. It'll be a long road ahead.
I just don't think that they were able to find as much space and use the ball as well as they did last week. If you're going to compare, say last week was a prime example of how they want to move the ball and play with that freedom, guilt-free football that Domi Sheed mentioned before the game. The Adelaide Crows did a really good job of shutting down their space and giving them no time with the ball in hand to make easy decisions. Everything was pretty rushed. There was a lot of pressure that they put on them. I don't know what the tackles looked like, but it wasn't like there was...
Eagles 47, Crows 45. So that
20
was the only time they led, pretty much on that count, was at the end of the game.
Yeah. So just shut them down and didn't give them many opportunities, you know. And when they were able to find their way in there, I was impressed with how efficient they were. At one stage, super efficient with their inside 50s to scoring.
Yeah, they took 22 marks inside 50.
Yeah.
So that's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
In modern game. So like 90 points from turnover. There's a bit of work to do from a defensive point of view for West Coast and how they challenge that.
Adelaide's forward line, like I said, per game is pretty potent. Like that's a lot. There's a lot. I mean, obviously next year Tex is another year older, but it's a dangerous forward line. I think that if they can polish up their backline transition through the midfield, it'll be a really, really dangerous side. If they clean that little bit up, I don't think that they have amazing users coming out of the backline to link up through the midfield.
Yeah, not great. Yeah, Smith spends a bit more time up the ground, but you're right. Yeah, I think Hinge adds a little bit, but you're probably a bit wayward at times.
Yeah. You'd have to have that elite, someone who can be behind the ball and distribute and pick through, because that's where so much of your rebound scoring comes from, is from your D50. It doesn't always you don't always turn it over forward to centre. Obviously you'd like to, but a lot of the time you're turning it over in your D50.
Yeah, I guess that's what you lose when you have Dawson in the middle.
Correct.
As opposed to half back.
Yeah. And he has to stay midfield because he's the Rolls Royce.
And Brodie Smith's coming towards the end of his career. He's been a great half-back flank. So
They've got things to work with there, though, haven't they?
They're missing Butts, Duday and Murray down back as well.
Yeah.
3 of their best defenders.
That's 6.
Let's head down into the Crows' rooms. Bridget?
Yes, very happy team, particularly Tex was giving the small crowd that's in here the thumbs up. The only downside, Harry Schoenberger's on the crutches. That's a confirmed Achilles injury, unfortunately for him, but they'll sing it loud and proud. Here we go. There it is, 2023 done for the Crows. We'll hopefully have a player for you shortly.
Victorious tonight, 17-21, 123 to 12-6, 78. The West Coast Eagles. The Eagles